app today.
Hey, shh. Calm down. The show is about to start. Reese on the radio. Turn it up. Turn it up loud. Turn it up loud.
It's like a dream come true.
Turn on your radio. Reese is on the radio.
Yo, let's get it.
Due to the nature of this program, discretion does not exist. It's Reese on the radio. Right now on WTIC News Talk 1080.
Hump Day. Are you ready to go? I know I am. What's going on, all you scallywags, nutmeggers across the fruited plain? You know what time it is. It's Reese on the radio on WTIC News Talk 1080. Today, an interesting day. News has been kind of weird. Everybody's getting back to school. There's sort of that lull in the news area, but I got stuff to talk about. These are the times, I should say, that I really, really don't like the news. I'm a chaos magnet. When there's chaos, I'm up and ready to go. Yeah, what's going on? Who's doing what? It's crazy out there. But I'm always excited. I'm always excited to be here and be here with you. And raring to go. I've got some interesting news. We'll see what happens about it. Yours truly, ended up in our headline section today. We'll talk about that. I have to talk about the lie today, the big fat lie coming out of the mouths of Governor Lamont, coming out of the mouths of mainstream and legacy news media in Connecticut and across the country. And I find it interesting that people have not combated this lie. Because this immigration thing, as much as people want to make it the focal point, there's really not the thing happening that everyone is saying is happening. They took one incident and made that the conversation. So I'm going to help you with something that we all knew but rarely spoke about. In doing so, I kind of have to go after the governor. Now, why do I kind of stay away from Governor Lamont? And it's not for any good reason. When I say any good reason, I don't have an excuse. I should be raking this man over the coals regularly. Aside from, referring to him as Oakley Dokley, because he is. He's very Oakley Dokley. And his answers are very Oakley Dokley. He's just that kind of guy, but I stay away from him. Can I tell you why? Let me say it this way. I tell everyone I'm a bully. And I am. I'm a bully to people who act like bullies. I'm like My Bodyguard. If you ever saw that movie, Chris Makepeace, Matt Dillon? Yeah. I'm a bully to bullies. I'm a bully to people who flex their weight. Lamont's not that guy. He cannot stand firm and be effective or look strong because it's just not his makeup. That's not his MO. When he's confronted, he always runs. And we know that for certain. I have it documented that the man is a little weaselly and scared. Just is. Sorry, just is. Showing up at events, preventing certain members of the news media from being there by either not inviting them or never telling them that the event's going on, acting in secrecy, making demands on the media not to ask probing questions because he can't answer them. And he usually has to get a layup from the news media, like they tell him how to answer with their questions. Can I give you an example? Let me give you an example. Here is Oakley Dokley himself being given a layup. I would love to know who this reporter is. I can't see her. I can only hear her. She's asking Oakley Dokley here about due process when it comes to illegal immigrants. It went a little something like this.
But do you think what's important is that there has to be due process?
It's got to be due process. This is America. You're not, charged and found guilty, and then we'll figure out something later. That's not. We don't get deported, and then we'll get back to you later on what your charge was.
So there has to be due process. That's a reporter. A reporter asking what she thinks is a probing question, and the only thing she's doing is setting up the governor. But there has to be due process, right, Governor? Wink, wink, nod, nod. That's Oakley Dokley for you. Well, of course there should be due process, Oakley Dokley. Of course. Yeah, you just can't go arresting people, Oakley Dokley. So I hate to have to mock the guy and make fun of him, but you know who you elected. And I understand he may very well run for re-election. There's a part of me that doesn't believe that. There's a part of me that just says, get out. It's getting tougher for him to govern. It just is. His party has left him. They've gone astray. He can't play it down the middle. He's got to go extreme left. He has to. He knows it. He's a shell of himself. If he doesn't, he has to. He cannot possibly govern with the new world order that is the Democrat Party. And he's not tough enough to push back on them. He can go after Donald Trump. Everybody's doing it. And he can do it to an adoring crowd, the press, that is. They'd love to have him go after Donald Trump. But right now, in order for him to politically stay alive as governor, he's got to go after the progressive left in Connecticut. And he's got to see the writing on the wall that many of his party want to go the Elliott way. There has to be a fight, a knockdown, drag-out fight. And I ask you, progressives, people on the left, moderates even, do you think Oakley Dokley's got it in him? Do you? I don't think so. And neither do you. Now, he could surprise all of us. In that lanky frame, a spine could emerge. It's quite possible. It's a show I'd pay pay-per-view money to see, but I don't think it's happening. I don't. But Oakley Dokley, let's get back to him and this nonsense he's trying to spew about due process. And everyone else under the sun who's a Democrat or on the left talking about immigration. Let's talk about this out of touch and out of the mainstream idea that illegals picking fruit is the reason why your grocery prices are so high.
Food's getting really expensive, and it's more expensive for food share to be able to get the food, and it's one of the reasons you have what they call food insecurity. That's a government way of saying people are a little hungry, and we're trying to give them all the security they need, and that starts with a good nutrition. And food's getting expensive. It's getting expensive because there are fewer people to pick fresh produce. So
It's getting expensive because we have fewer people to pick fresh produce, Oakley Dokley says. We just don't have enough illegals. Can you imagine if every industry you thought was too expensive could be answered with illegal immigration? Can you imagine if Oakley here was in charge of making all of the prices of everything you want to have cheaper by having illegals be paid pennies on the dollar? I've got an idea for Oakley. Oakley, remember when you wanted everybody in Connecticut to have an electric vehicle? And we here on Reese on the Radio told you over and over again that some of the working poor in the state would never be able to afford an electric vehicle. Boy, have I got an idea for you. Because of your wise statements about food prices going through the roof because we don't have enough illegals to pick them, I'm thinking this. General Motors? Ford? Whomever. How about they fire all that union work and bring in some illegals to put the cars together? In fact, just electric vehicles. Just hire them. You could do it pennies on the dollar, and guess what? Those new electric vehicles that you so wanted to mandate in the state would be cheap. I mean, you could do this in every industry. Why don't they ever promote it? I mean, seriously, food prices are through the roof, and they say that we don't have cheap slave labor in order to, we could apply it everywhere. Everywhere. What about medical costs? Come on. It sounds crazy because it is. You know, we can teach illegals to do, minor procedures, right? Why put them through school, huh? What are kids doing in college nowadays anyway? They're learning about 4th century Greek art, getting degrees on that. No one is getting an education that is actually worth anything in the medical field, clearly. I mean, just imagine if guys like him could actually get these prices down by bringing more and more illegals to do those. Come on, don't they have doctors working in Brazil? How many women have you seen, or how many stories, I should say? If you've seen women like this, you need to call a doctor immediately. But how many stories have you seen about women who have been rushed into the emergency room because they went and got those Brazilian derrieres that have been filled with cement? I've seen a lot of those stories. I know you have too. Let's just bring those doctors in. Why not? Let's just bring in cheap labor everywhere. And why isn't housing costs going down? Come on, I've heard it said over and over again, no matter where you look, that some of these construction sites where houses are being built, some 30, 40, 50% of the people who are there building the houses, they're all illegals. That's what we're being told. The New York Times just did an interview with J.D. Vance about the same thing. Hey, if you get rid of all the illegals, imagine all the homes that wouldn't be built. Hasn't anyone asked the question, well, wait a minute. If illegals are what drive down the cost of all of these things, why are homes so damn expensive? Those things should be cheap as hell. That's why I know that old Oakley Dokley here is pulling the wool over everybody's eyes. That's how I know that you guys have not been addressing these arguments the right way. Let's go one step further. Governor Lamont here would have you believe that these people are not getting their due process.
But do you think what's important is that there has to be due process?
It's got to be due process. This is America. You're not, charged and found guilty, and then we'll figure out something later. That's not. We don't get deported, and then we'll get back to you later on what your charge was. This is America. These are very un-American, the way ICE is reacting to these folks.
What is the latest?
I have to ask everybody a question. Where is Kevin Rosero Moreno? The Meriden High School boy that was taken into custody with his dad at an immigration hearing. Anybody know where he is? I know where he is. He's not in Guatemala. He's not in Ecuador. He's not in El Salvador. Hell, he's not even in Nigeria or Uganda. He's sitting in a detention center where? In these United States. Texas, specifically. That's where he is. Most of the people that you see who are being picked up end up in ICE facilities or ICE lockups right here in the United States. How about the Newington 7? We know that at least one of them is sitting in a detention center in Massachusetts. Now, last I checked, I didn't go to college. I am almost certain that Massachusetts is in these United States. I don't think that there's a Massachusetts in Ecuador. No one has been deported, so to speak, unless they have been deported. But the language of guys like Oakley Dokley is these folks are being deported without due process. That is a lie. The reason why they're in detention centers sits in my hand. When we come back, we'll explain the language of the left and how you should respond to this so-called deportation lie. Go nowhere. More news, more views than you can shake a stick at. It's Reese on the radio on WTIC NewsTalk 1080.
Here's a few questions for you from California Psychics. Do your workdays seem to go on forever? Is your career progression as fast as downtown traffic? Or does your boss still not know your name?
Hey, you, Tina, Lisa, Sheila, whatever. Get that report to me by lunch, okay? It's Carrie, ma'am. Just get it done, Terry.
It's time to read the career warning signs and talk to California Psychics. We're always on hand to give you the career guidance you need. You see, we only connect you with the very best. In fact, 98% of the psychics who apply to work with us don't make the grade. That's why we can guarantee if your reading isn't life-changing, it's free. So you could soon be telling your boss where to stick that report.
Where are you going, Terry? Terry!
Experience the joy of certainty. California Psychics. Call 1-800-PREDICT today and get 20 minutes for just $20.
Thinking about McLean's award-winning assisted living or memory care? Join us for a panel discussion September 18th at Hop Meadow Country Club in Simsbury. Meet our directors and get your questions answered. RSVP by September 10th at exploremclean.org. McLean, where compassionate care meets community.
Brian Jackman here for Brian & Company on WTIC News Talk 1080. Hope you're having a great week. We're going to turn the corner into Thursday with return, the vaunted, the daunting football picks with Mark Christopher, myself, Matt Soroyes, and the enemies of 96.5 TIC FM. I won't even name them. It's going to be a lot of fun. Actually, it was so good we had to split it into two segments. All your news, weather, and traffic as well. It's Brian & Company. We start at 5:30. We take you all the way to 9 o'clock right here on WTIC News Talk 1080.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-6986. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have over 1,000 five-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-6986. That's 800-575-6986. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
And now, a WTIC news update.
It's 2:30. Good afternoon. I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News. We have partly sunny skies. 77 is the temperature. We'll shoot for 80 degrees today before all is said and done. Bob Cox has the forecast details coming up. First Student Bus Company is apologizing and says it's taking corrective action. This after reports of students in New Britain, primarily those with special needs, being late and some even taken to the wrong locations. 2 men are in the hospital after they were shot in Hartford last night. Officers say they were notified while out processing a scene at 42 Battles Street. One of the victims in his 50s, the other in his 70s. Both were said to be alert and conscious when they were brought in. Minimum wage in Connecticut will go up again in January. Officials announced today that the wage will increase to $16.94 an hour beginning the first of next year. The federal minimum wage remains at $7.25 an hour, where it has been since 2009. South Windsor police are charging a man with threatening and other offenses after he allegedly grabbed a victim by the neck, slapped her, and threatened to kill her during a domestic violence incident Sunday. Suspect under arrest identified as 31-year-old Herman Diaz. Florida will work to phase out all childhood vaccine mandates in the state, building on the effort by Governor Ron DeSantis to curb vaccine requirements during the COVID-19 pandemic. And survivors of Jeffrey Epstein's abuse gathered at Capitol Hill today to demand the release of the sex trafficking investigation into the late financier. On Tuesday, they pushed back against President Trump, who has dismissed the issue as a hoax. WTIC News Time 2:31. Here's Bob with the forecast.
Another beauty out there this afternoon. Plenty of sunshine. The high temperature approaching 80, low humidity, and we'll have light wind out of the south, generally under 10 miles per hour. Partly cloudy tonight. More patchy fog developing late tonight. Lows in the 50s. Thursday looks mostly sunny with a high around 80. The humidity is still comfortably low. The breeze will pick up a little bit during the second half of the day tomorrow. A southerly wind 10 to 15 with some gusts over 20. Becoming mostly cloudy Thursday night with some showers developing. There's a higher chance for rain in the northwestern part of the state than there is in the southeast corner. Temperatures will be in the low 60s for lows Thursday night. There could be some areas of drizzle and fog as well. And maybe a lingering shower or two into early Friday, especially in those northwestern areas. Otherwise, it's partly sunny, breezy, and warm. A little more humid, too. Highs 80 to 85, dew points in the 60s Friday. Increasing cloudiness Saturday, breezy, warm, and humid, with some showers and a chance for a thunderstorm late in the day or Saturday evening. Highs 80 to 85. Sunday looks cooler, becoming partly sunny, highs in the low 70s. I'm meteorologist Bob Cox in the WTIC Weather Center.
And from the WTIC 24-hour traffic network in Mansfield, Route 195 is closed at Clover Mill Road. Looks like a crash out there involving a motorcycle. And in Lower Fairfield County on 95 North between exits 9 and 10 in Darien, got a tractor-trailer fire that's taking out the right and center lanes. I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News.
At Tax Relief Advocates, we get it. Thinking about back taxes to the IRS can be very unsettling. Don't lose hope. With thousands of 5-star Google reviews and an A+ rating with the Better Business Bureau, TRA is resolving taxpayers' delinquent tax problems nationwide once and for all. We could significantly reduce and even eliminate what you owe the IRS. If you haven't filed your taxes in years or are already facing collections, we can help. We aren't just some run-of-the-mill tax service company. We specialize in helping individuals and businesses with $10,000, $50,000, or even $500,000 in back taxes get speedy resolution. And in many cases, only have to pay back a fraction of what they owe. The IRS isn't going anywhere, and neither is your tax problem. To see what tax relief you qualify for, visit TRA.com or call 800-335-8578. 800-335-8578. Again, that's 800-335-8578. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
You're listening to Leaf Filter Radio. And the guru of gutter protection himself, Chris Coonahan, is here to take your most pressing leaf-related questions.
Hey, everybody, Chris here. I understand we have Ron on the line. Ron, where are you calling from?
Uh-oh. Ron, are you calling from a ladder?
Well, I was. I wanted to ask Chris what I need to do to get my gutters ready to have leaf filter installed.
Oh, Ron, you don't have to do anything. A Leaf Filter Trusted Pro will come out and clean out your gutters, realign and seal your gutters, and install Leaf Filter, America's #1 gutter protection system.
So I didn't need to get on this ladder?
Ron, Leaf Filter Trusted Pros are in your neighborhood and ready to help. Just visit leaffilter.com/deal to schedule your free gutter inspection and get up to 30% off.
Thank goodness. What was that site?
That's leaffilter.com/deal for your free gutter inspection today. See representative for warranty details. Promotion is 20% off plus a 10% senior or military discount. One discount per household.
Texting enrolls you into recurring automated text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
Hey, Dan, how you doing? Haven't seen you around the gym for a while.
Yeah, I've really fallen off. Since I turned 40, I just don't get the results I used to get.
Could be lower testosterone.
Lower T?
Yeah, I went through it a while back. Once you hit 40, your body has less free testosterone. I got NewGenix Total T, and it's made a huge difference for me.
I've seen that ad on TV. Is it for real?
Oh, yeah. The key ingredient is something called Tesnor, which helps boost free and total testosterone levels to help you trim up and stay lean.
And it's made a difference for you?
Man, I feel like I'm in my 20s again, at work, in the gym, and in the bedroom.
Are they still giving out complimentary bottles for people to try it for themselves?
Yeah, you just need to send them a text.
Text SAVVY to 42424 right now for your complimentary bottle of NewGenix Total T, the #1 selling testosterone booster at GNC. Plus, text now and we'll include a bottle of NewGenix Thermo, our most powerful fat incinerator ever, to help you get back into shape fast, absolutely free. Text SAVVY to 42424. That's SAVVY to 42424.
Hi, I'm Tom Connors. Went to Mark Patrick's hypnosis seminar February 6, 2019. Nothing worked before. Left there and never smoked again. Amazing. Easy, affordable, and guaranteed. A year later, with my wife Michelle, attended Mark Patrick's weight loss seminar. She lost 18 pounds, and I lost 43 in 8 weeks.
It's true. He smoked 2 packs a day, and nothing worked until Mark Patrick Hypnosis. Now we're losing weight together, eating healthy, full on half the food, crazy. Enjoying exercising. Who would have believed Mark Patrick Hypnosis really works?
It's amazing. I can breathe again, my blood pressure went down, and I've got so much energy.
So much energy.
And look great.
Join Mark Patrick Seminar's Early Bird Special, only $49.99. Hypnosis designed to destroy unwanted cravings. That's right. Seminars Thursday, September 18th, Hilton Garden in Hartford North, Bradley International Airport in Windsor. Weight Loss Seminar 5:30. Stop Smoking Seminar 8 p.m. Or Saturday, September 20th, Holiday Inn Express, Southington. Weight Loss Seminar 11 a.m. Stop Smoking Seminar 2 p.m. Register markpatrickseminars.com.
This Labor Day weekend, we're celebrating Bob's Furniture's 200th store milestone with the entire Bob's family across the country. For more than 30 years, we've believed everyone deserves the home they love. That's why we brought our everyday low prices on furniture, mattresses, and more to over 200 locations from coast to coast and counting. Not to mention free treats for the whole family in our cafes. Celebrate Bob's Discount Furniture's 200 store milestone this Labor Day weekend.
Oh, my Bob! I'm Ed Evans, CEO of Consumer Cellular. We're dedicated to serving people 50 and up like me. Our needs are different. Big Wireless wants us in an unlimited plan, but if you're not using all that data, you're probably getting used. At Consumer Cellular, we're focused on affordable, reliable plans, including data that suits your needs, not ours. Our plans start at just $20, and you'll get the best customer service in the business.
Call 1-888-FREEDOM, visit consumercellular.com/store near you. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing. See site for additional facts.
Fan of WTIC? Then do us a favor. Download the free Odyssey app and favorite WTIC.
And some of you people who are interested in the Epstein Files scandal, we'll be talking about that later on as well. So make sure you stick around for that. We'll do it in roughly about the 3 o'clock hour. And thank you, Robert, for reminding me. Of course, I have to promo the fact that we will have from Moms for Liberty, Alexandra Bauer will be on the program. We'll talk to her about pretty much her claim to fame. As the Bergen County scout leader for the Girl Scouts, and how she ended up losing her position there, and even her daughter being kicked out of the Girl Scouts, and what she's been standing up for ever since then. We'll talk about how she's helping moms and other Moms for Liberty chapters across the country, and of course here in Connecticut, on how to get ahead of some of the stuff, school year just beginning, and some of the woke ideology that's happening there. So we'll talk to her about that and a myriad of other things. We'll see if we can keep her in a little longer. Depends on how it goes. If it goes well, we'll keep her on for longer if she can, because she's doing a lot of stuff. She's interviewing everywhere. She's definitely sought after as a woman who's fighting for the rights of girls and parents across the country. So we'll talk to her about that, and I'm very, very lucky to have her on here. I want to thank Robert for making that happen. Later on in the show, we've got great Hollywood news. Well, it's not great Hollywood news. It's bad Hollywood news. I got to get into that as well. And as I said in headlines, yours truly, your humble correspondent, he said with tongue firmly in cheek, made the cut today. We'll talk about that as well. If you're late to the show, which you shouldn't be, I've got to talk about this argument that's being made about people being deported. As I just said it, Don was in the chat room talking about, you're full of it, Reese. People are being sent to Africa right now. My response to that is, you over-caffeinated liberal hack. So what? That doesn't make it the case for all illegals. You know that, as do I. So here is the argument that is not being made. Let's start with expedited removal. This is the fast track process. As of January 21st, 2025, under an expanded policy implemented via executive order by the Federal Register Notice, ICE and CBP can use expedited removal to deport certain undocumented immigrants without a hearing before an immigration judge, potentially in as little as 1 day. This applies to individuals apprehended anywhere in the U.S., not just near borders. Those who cannot prove continuous U.S. residency for at least 2 years prior to arrest. People who entered between ports of entry or were paroled into the United States with parole status revoked. Exceptions include visa overstays who must provide entry evidence, unaccompanied minors, and those with legal protections. If someone expresses fear or persecution or intends to apply for asylum during the process, they receive a credible fear interview. Passing this removes them from expedited removal and shifts to standard proceedings. Without such claims, deportation can occur rapidly after a brief officer review and limited due process or legal representation opportunities. Standard removal. What is this? What you are seeing everywhere. This includes Senator Lesser and Senator John Larson. This includes Newington. For those who don't qualify for expedited removal, long-term residents with over 2 years in the U.S. or visa overstays, the process is lengthier and involves immigration court. After pickup, individuals are typically detained in ICE facilities while their case is processed. They receive a notice to appear outlining charges, followed by a hearing before an immigration judge to contest deportation or apply for relief, e.g., asylum, cancellation of removal. This can involve multiple hearings, appeals, and time for gathering evidence or securing a lawyer, often taking months. If a final removal order is issued, ICE coordinates deportation, but individuals may be released on bond or under supervision during proceedings. That is what is happening. Is happening. Do we understand that? So we are allowing the language to be co-opted by the likes of the press and Oakley Dokley, John Larson, State Senator Matt Lesser. This is what they're repeating over and over again. Why? Because they don't expect you to do the legwork. To them, you are lazy. To them, you are naive enough to just take their word for it. I trust him. I trust Senator Lesser. I trust John Larson. He's been around forever. He wouldn't lie to me. They're being deported. Where are they? At an ICE facility. No one's gone anywhere. You're still paying for them. You're still paying for them. That's okay. Don't worry. Your tax dollars are still feeding them and housing them. And you should be happy about that. You know? You're doing good. You know? If you were wondering where your good deed was today, right now your tax dollars are at a detention center feeding one of the people who could be out in the hot sun picking your fruits and vegetables. But no, instead, he is on an extended 2-month vacation or so. Fighting for the right to stay. The due process you're so concerned about. Huh? That's what you wanted, right? You wanted due process. See, I already know you guys want to move the goalposts. You don't want due process. You just don't want them detained. And I wish you would just say that. But you can't, because then the cat's out of the bag. Then you're exposed that the mass hysteria that you are screaming and hollering about, John Larson, unmask yourselves, all that nonsense would be exposed. People would be like, oh, so you mean they're at the detention center waiting for a hearing to see if they could stay? Oh, okay, chill. Oh, all right. Well, good, if they can prove it. But see, we all know what's really going on. I can tell you right now, and I can tell Donald right here. Donald, who's already saying that this is spin. Donald, answer this question. Here's what you're concerned about. And come on, be honest. I know you're a liar anyway. And yes, I did. I called you a liar because I know you're lying right now. So do you. So let's prove whether or not you're a liar or whether or not you can be honest. Put it in the chat room. Say it out loud. What you're really afraid of is that they're going to lose in court and they'll have to leave. That's what you're afraid of. You don't want due process. You're afraid of what due process will glean. You're afraid of what the court hearing will fan out. You're concerned that those individuals that you want to blindly support, knowing nothing about them, you've never met them, you've never broken any bread with them, hell, you don't even know their names or where they're from or where they live. That you damn well know that what you're concerned with is when they do have due process, the jig will be up and they'll have to go anyway. But that's okay. What I find incredibly odd from somebody like Donald, you know, a self-admitted black nationalist, is that he doesn't bat an eye when people like Jasmine Crockett say, we ain't picking cotton no more. That's why they're here. He didn't bat one eye when he heard Representative Garcia say, who is going to clean our toilets and clean off our tables at the restaurant. He didn't bat one eye when Congressman Johnson from Georgia said that we need people to clean our hospitals. Just make sure that they're not in Guam because it might capsize. Awfully silent now, aren't we, Donald? We know the truth. Come on. Everybody here knows what's up. You're not upset about deportation. That's not happening. You're upset that when the due process comes, like you're screaming, the due process isn't happening. Well, we know that it's happening. It's evident. They're at detention centers. By the way, if they weren't at the detention centers, we wouldn't have that Congresswoman MacGyver now facing felony charges for attacking an ICE officer. Right? We wouldn't have people staging sit-ins outside of ICE detention centers. In fact, we wouldn't have had Alligator Alcatraz if they were all just being shipped out. What do we need the facilities for? We're just grabbing them and putting them on a plane, aren't we? Huh? We know what the deal is. So, for those of you who love sending me messages about Reese, how do we answer this? There you go. No one's going anywhere without due process. That's what the ICE facilities are for. We'll be back. More news, more views when we return. It's Reese on the Radio on WTIC News Talk 1080.
I'm Ed Evans, CEO of Consumer Cellular. We're dedicated to serving people 50 and up like me. Our needs are different. Big Wireless wants us in an unlimited plan, but if you're not using all that data, you're probably getting used. At Consumer Cellular, we're focused on affordable, reliable plans, including data that suits your needs, not ours. Our plans start at just $20, and you'll get the best customer service in the business.
Call 1-888-FREEDOM, visit consumercellular.com/facts or a store near you. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing. See site for additional facts.
This Labor Day weekend, we're celebrating Bob's Discount Furniture's 200th store milestone with the entire Bob's family across the country. For more than 30 years, we've believed everyone deserves the home they love. That's why we brought our everyday low prices on furniture, mattresses, and more to over 200 locations from coast to coast and counting. Not to mention free treats for the whole family in our cafes. Celebrate Bob's Discount Furniture's 200 store milestone this Labor Day weekend. Oh, my Bob!
You're listening to Leaf Filter Radio, and the guru of gutter protection himself, Chris Coonahan, is here to take your most pressing leaf-related questions.
Hey, everybody, Chris here. I understand we have Ron on the line. Ron, where are you calling from?
Uh-oh. Ron, are you calling from a ladder?
Well, I was. I wanted to ask Chris what I need to do to get my gutters ready to have leaf filter installed.
Oh, Ron, you don't have to do anything. A Leaf Filter Trusted Pro will come out and clean out your gutters, realign and seal your gutters, and install a Leaf Filter, America's #1 gutter protection system.
So I didn't need to get on this ladder?
Ron, Leaf Filter Trusted Pros are in your neighborhood and ready to help. Just visit leaffilter.com/deal to schedule your free gutter inspection and get up to 30% off.
Thank goodness. What was that site?
That's leaffilter.com/deal for your free gutter inspection today. See representative for warranty details. Promotion is 20% off plus a 10% senior or military discount. One discount per household.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-6481. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS.
Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start.
Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems.
We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau.
You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com
or call 800-575-6481. That's 800-575-6481.
Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
It's Reese on the Radio on News Talk 1080 WTIC.
By the way, programming note, in about 2.5 minutes, we have got an emergency broadcasting systems alert that we have to go to. So if you get the dead silence or you get the alert on your end, that's going to be happening very soon. All right, so stand by for that. As I promised, headlines coming up. Yours truly made the cut today. Also, a crazy, stupidest thing I read today that's associated with EBT. This is, I can't believe this, but goodness gracious. This story blew my mind when I saw it. Also coming up at 4 o'clock, 4:05 exactly, we got Moms for Liberty, Alexandra Bauer on the program. We'll talk to her about her journey. to become one of the chapter presidents for Moms for Liberty in Bergen County. She's an old neighborhood of mine. Talked to her a little bit about that as well, and what she's doing to help parents as the school year begins with woke ideology that we're seeing in the classrooms. And if she's seen any changes thus far with politics and policies in that area. So look forward to that. Also on the program, Hollywood News, a story that I'm not really happy with, and it involves an actor I really kind of like and has grown on me for a little bit. He's going the way of regular Hollywood. It's kind of disappointing. Anyway, we'll talk about that and much, much more. Oakley Dokley is in the news as well, talking about immigration. So we'll talk a little bit more about that. And, of course, we'll have your phone calls at 860-522-WTIC. That's 860-522-9842. I want to make sure I didn't forget something because I'm still waiting on a response from ICE on Kevin Kevin Rosero Moreno. And they haven't responded to me yet. And I think it's because I don't have any information on him. No one seems to be forthcoming with that info. Do we go right now? You want to count me down? Okay, we could just let's go to the emergency broadcasting alert right now. All right, we're good? All right, we're back. Anyway, so we're waiting on ICE to give us a call back to let us know, or at least an email back to let us know what the status of Kevin Moreno is. And all I'm trying to find out are the details of him being detained. Now, if there's a likelihood that, he overstayed his visa, don't know, didn't show up at a hearing where he was supposed to, but he was with his dad. He and his dad. Apparently, the rest of his family is still here, but everyone is incredibly tight-lipped about him or him being detained. Try to talk to the mayor, who is very, somewhat, I guess, ticked off at the fact that he was taken by ICE, as are many politicians in the state right now, screaming and hollering about who's being picked up and who's wearing masks and all the barking. But no one seems to be no one seems to have any answers to any questions. What I find even weirder is when you ask people about the follow-up, no one seems to have an answer. That they've even bothered to do that. That one reporter hasn't gone back to say, hey, remember all of that airtime we gave to such and such? This is still a hot issue. Let's go back, revisit it, and see if there are any updates, even if we have to just put it on our website. But nothing. No one says a word. No one even follows up. In fact, did I tell you guys yesterday that one of the individuals I asked at the station said something about, we hadn't received an alert from the lawyer. And I thought that was odd, that you would wait on the story to come to you. Because if I'm doing a story, I'm following up on it. I'm not waiting for the follow-up to come to me. I don't know. I don't know how many times I got people sending me an email saying, hey, Reese, whatever happened to that story, blah, blah, blah. It's like, hey, we tried to follow up. We're getting resistance. We didn't get anything. I'm doing the work. I'm doing the legwork. And again, I got no journalism degree here. You know, I learned how to do journalism the same way I learned law, from television. Why do you think I keep saying I have a degree from Law and Order? Huh? What do you think I keep saying that? I learned how to do this whole thing by watching people on television. Every day. I was like, okay, he did that, you do that. This guy does that, you do that. That's what an investigative journalist does that, you do that. We used to have that around here. Now all of a sudden no one does it anymore. They don't even do their jobs. I think that's what all the discontent is about. Nobody's doing their job. No one knows anything, and they're all sitting around in their own little bubble or cloud. Anyway, let's go to the news. John Silva, he's in the WTIC newsroom. It's Reese On The Radio on WTIC NewsTalk 1080. Hey, John.
WTIC is celebrating 100 years on the air and 100 years of serving Connecticut. This is WTIC and WTIC FM HD2 Hartford, an Odyssey station.
3 o'clock in the afternoon, we've got partly sunny skies, 77 degrees. The temperature will shoot for about 80 today. Forecast details are coming up. Survivors of Jeffrey Epstein's abuse called for more transparency today while on Capitol Hill.
This is a crime that, by our Justice Department's own admission, has 1,000 victims.
They and lawmakers from both sides of the aisle want all of the documents in the case released. And as correspondent Scott McFarland reports, the latest release on Tuesday didn't go far enough for the victims.
Yeah, one estimate that was given by one of the congressmen who spoke, Ro Khanna of California, was that what was released is roughly 1% of what the federal government may have on Jeffrey Epstein. You saw the front-facing documents from the Department of Justice, the things they filed in court. When the Department of Justice or any prosecutor goes to court, they're submitting a fraction of what they have as part of their investigation. These survivors, their attorneys, these members of Congress want all of it put in the public domain.
The school superintendent in New Britain has called busing issues at the beginning of this new school year unacceptable. While the company is apologizing for the snafu, there have been reports of students being either late or brought to the wrong locales. Many of those students have special needs. There's one report of a child who was taken to Danbury instead of their school in Waterbury. In a statement released on Facebook, the First Student Bus Company apologized for, quote, the frustration and inconvenience. The letter to the community goes on to say the company is taking corrective action to stabilize operations and deliver consistent, dependable service through the careful hiring, training of new staff, end quote. After citing a drop in crime when she spoke last week, D.C.'s Mayor Muriel Bowser says her city has a plan for when the 30-day period of federal control wraps up.
What it does is lays out a framework for how we will exit the emergency.
It includes, that is, a 13% raise and a plan to hire hundreds more police officers. Connecticut's minimum wage about to go up again. It trails only Washington State. Governor Lamont says it will be $16.94 an hour effective New Year's Day. That's up almost 60 cents from this year. A bill that was passed in 2019. It has been increasing annually based on economic indicators. Lieutenant Governor Susan Bysiewicz.
It's not just a number, it's a promise. It's a promise that when you work hard, Connecticut has your back.
The federal minimum wage remains at $7.25 an hour, where it has been since 2009. Mixed bag on the Connecticut economic fronts from the Connecticut Business and Industry Association. CBIA released its annual survey of business leaders today. Among the items, they say 3/4 of the respondents reported challenges in hiring. President and CEO Christy Pentima says there was disappointment where the legislature is concerned.
And it ended, quite honestly, with lawmakers weakening the state's fiscal guardrails and raising business taxes by nearly $350 million, increasing total spending by $2.6 billion over the next 2 years.
The survey also shows companies focusing on innovation and navigating local, federal, and global challenges. Big Powerball drawing for tonight, $1.3 billion. CBS's Jim Krasula.
It's the fifth largest
Nobody
prize
won?
in the game's history. No one has won the Powerball since May. These men have good intentions if they win the money.
Help out family, help out friends, stuff like that.
Take care of my family, take care of my neighborhood, help. What you gonna do with all that money?
The odds of matching all 6 Powerball numbers are daunting, to say the least. 1 in 292 million. Jim Krasula, CBS News.
WTIC News time is 3:04. From the WTIC 24-hour traffic network, we've got a road closure still in Mansfield. This is 195 northbound, or actually at Clover Mill Road. 195 at Clover Mill Road in Mansfield. We had an earlier crash out there due to a motorcycle crash. Leftover road work in New Britain, eastbound 84 between 36 and 37. Left lane, that should be wrapping up soon. Down in East Hartford, Route 2 west between 5A and 4. Left and center lanes will be out for another 25 minutes or so. And in Farmington, Route 9, southbound side, just prior to exit 36. We'll have the left lane closed there till about 3:30 as well. Here's the WTIC Weather Center forecast.
This weather continues, though we could stand to use some rain. There's not been substantial rainfall for quite some time now. We do have some showers in the forecast before.
Thank you all for being here. I'll go first and then I'll let them. They're much more important than me, but I don't understand why it's a
overnight, low 52. Mostly sunny tomorrow, breezy tomorrow afternoon, high 78. Becoming cloudy tomorrow night, and as the front approaches the area, be a couple of showers around late at night, maybe a rumble of thunder, low 63. Warm, humid weather on Friday with partial sun. It could be a stray shower, high 84 degrees. Very warm and humid as we start the weekend. Saturday, clouds, some sunshine, but also a couple of afternoon showers and thunderstorms as another cold front moves in. Any thunderstorm can bring hail and damaging winds, high Saturday, 86. Following that front, cooler and less humid on Sunday, a mixture of clouds and sunshine. With high temperature 75 degrees and pleasant weather at the start of next week. We'll see sunny Monday, high 74. I'm Bob Larson of the WTIC Weather Center.
Dow's down 235 points. NASDAQ's up 124. S&P is up 6 points. I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News.
We get it. Attention spans just aren't what they used to be. Heads in social media and eyes on Netflix. But what do people do with their ears? Well, for one, they're listening to audio. Americans spend 4.4 hours with audio every day. Oh, and you want the proof? Well, you just sat through this ad that's now approaching 30 seconds. What could you say to a potential customer in 30 seconds? Let Odyssey put together a media plan tailor-made for your unique marketing needs. Advertise with Odyssey. Visit ads.odyssey.com.
Hi, I'm Joe with SimpleSaleUSA.com, and I buy houses cash. If you own a house and want to sell it fast at a fair price, call me at 203-896-4000. I can pay cash and close in as little as 7 days. I buy houses in any condition, any price range, and more importantly, anywhere in Connecticut. I'm a private real estate investor who buys several houses a month, and I want to buy more. I buy inherited houses, divorce houses, behind in payment houses. I even buy my tenant won't pay me the rent houses. Do you own a house that is trash and needs thousands of dollars in repairs? Great, because I love buying junk houses. I buy vacant houses, abandoned houses, condemned houses, and even foreclosure houses. If you own a house and want to sell it fast, call me at 203-896-4000. That's 203-896-4000. 203-896-4000.
Erectile dysfunction affects nearly 50% of men over 50. But even with so many men affected, finding a trusted provider to treat the condition isn't so simple. This is Dale for Northeast Men's Health, a Promenic restorative health practice, and I'm excited to announce the opening of our newest location of Northeast Men's Health in Warwick, Rhode Island. As a Promenic affiliate, Northeast Men's Health can offer men with ED the latest treatment protocols, which are shown in medical studies to be effective in well over 90% of men. And unlike groups that only offer wave therapy or online pharmacies that just sell pills, we offer a variety of treatments to help get you the results you want. You should also know that Northeast Men's Health is a true medical practice, which means our providers have access to a complete range of treatment options to get you back on track. So call Northeast Men's Health today Your initial visit is only $99 and includes a medical consult, blood work, and if medically advised, a test dose. And if that test dose doesn't work in the office, your visit is free. Call 800-930-5956. That's 800-930-5956. Or go to northeastmenshealth.com.
Reese on the radio, making sense of the news. Yeah, even when it makes no sense at all. Now on WTIC, News Talk 1080.
Hey, we are back, and it's time to get into some headlines. One of these headlines you already heard. In fact, both, I think two of them you actually already heard John Silva give, but I would like to at least add some commentary to them nonetheless. Governor Lamont, can we give him a round of applause? Oakley Dokley. Oakley Dokley makes the news today because Lamont is now online on X bragging about getting minimum wage workers wait for it, $23.60. Oh, baby, a week. Do you have time to go to the movies on the weekend? Like after you get your $23 can probably go see a horrible movie in the theaters. Well, Governor Lamont is running around bragging about that today. He got you another 59 cents an hour. Couldn't make it 60. He got you 59 cents, and they are bragging about it. Their press release says it's like almost 60 cents. Almost. We were trying to get there. It's really tough to get people to sign on to that penny. $23.60 for a 40-hour work week. 40-hour work week. That's what it comes up to. And he's bragging about it. He actually posted it today. Call me crazy. He can't be running again. He can't be. Is he serious? But is he serious? Like this is what we're taking a victory lap about? And it doesn't even take place until New Year's Day. We're taking a victory lap about it now? 59 cents? Now? I couldn't believe it. You also heard from John Silva that Florida is announcing an end to vaccine mandates. I wish we had the audio to this, because when they told, when the Surgeon General of Florida actually revealed this in a press conference, the crowd went nuts. I mean, it was insane in that room. You'd think that, the Florida Marlins had won the pennant. That's the way people were applauding it in Florida. And I thought that was good news. And it was kind of heartbreaking at the same time with everything that people had to endure with all of that. What is it? Donald, I don't believe in minimum wage. You didn't know that? You didn't ask? Okay, good. When we come back, we'll talk about minimum wage and why I know that is dumb. And just so you understand, when it comes to minimum wage, I owned a business. Now, if you were smart and you had been listening a long time ago, you'd have known that I've never paid anybody a minimum wage. Okay? My employees made $30 an hour as a private business owner. Plus, they kept their tips. So spare me the red state argument. What about red states? Are you sitting here celebrating about 59 cents? Are you applauding that for next year? And now for the stupidest thing I've read today.
Yes, you do. Stupid as can be. This could very well be the stupidest person on the face of the earth.
I cannot believe that I have to report that Reese on the radio has made the stupidest thing I read today. That's right, folks. Yours truly has made the stupidest thing I read today, and I've got to find the article because it's somewhere around here. Yes, here it is. Not even an article, but it's actually just something that I heard. So apparently, Senator Matt Lesser, has called yours truly a coward. Yeah. So a listener sent a message to Senator Matt Lesser and says, you know what I'd like to see, Matt, is one of you Democrats go on Reese on the Radio on WTIC 1080 AM. He's calling you guys out all the time, asking you if you want to come out and answer questions. But we all know you're a bunch of cowards, and you don't want to go there because that's not the liberal stations that you go to. That's what the listener wrote. Senator Matt Lesser wrote this. Never heard of him. Sorry. Never heard of him, nor have I ever gotten a request from him or his producer to go on the show. Sounds like he's the coward. Okay, Senator Lesser, let's go. Now, if I were you, I would have stayed off my radar, but that's okay. In fact, I would have said, hey, never heard of him, but if he'd like to, I'd love to come on the program. You should have just left it at that, because that would have been, you don't even know anything about me. I've never talked about you. I've definitely never called you a name. In fact, on this show, we avoid it like the plague, calling people the C word. I don't like doing it unless I really see cowardice. But this was an interesting one. Sounds like he's the coward. So we contacted his office. Do you think they responded? In fact, let's check. When did I send a text message to his office? Let me see here. I'm looking. I sent a text message today. My phone call was about, according to this, about noon, 12:30 at best. I've called, spoke to his public relations folks, communications people, whatever it is, and said, hey, Senator's calling me a coward because I've never reached out to him. I didn't know I had to, but you know what? Now I am. So, Senator, come on the show. In fact, the town that you represent, Newington, is in the news. We'd love to have a conversation with you about the Newington 7, the illegals that were taken by ICE. We'd love to ask you a series of questions, like the post that you are now putting out on your X account, suggesting that Donald Trump is going to be costing a family of 4 that makes $128,000 a year, their medical costs to go from $900 a month to a whopping $4,400 a month. We've done some fact checking, Senator, and it turns out you're on your X page lying about it. And we'd like to have a conversation about where you got your numbers from. Now, don't get me wrong, I already know where you got the numbers from, but I also know that the numbers are also fraudulent. So since we're using the word, let's find out who the real cowards are. You seem to be a policy wonk. You don't really seem like you've got an online presence, but for some odd reason, you're joining the brood of people who think that your notoriety will rise if you go after Donald Trump in this administration. Someone asked you to come onto the program. He called y'all cowards. If you got a beef with him, take it up with him. But you called me a coward. Now it's on. So don't leave it to me. Let me lay the ground rules for you, and it's real simple. Come on the show if you like. But if you don't, everybody knows who the coward is. I'll be happy to take your call anytime you want. Reach out to who you need. Your communications director, I think it's Garnett, has my telephone number, my direct line. Reach out whenever you want, whatever you want, as long as you want. We did the thing you asked. So there you have it. We'd love to. And I don't care when it is. This year, next year, I want to have a conversation with you. Everything you post from now on is in my line of sight. Everything you talk about is going to be talked about on this program. Everything that you say is going to be scrutinized to this audience. And we'll see whether or not you've got the, to come on the program. To be honest with you, I don't think you do. I really don't. I think you kind of walked into a hornet's nest without any true protection, and now you're kind of stuck. But that's okay. That's okay. I didn't set the ground rules, you did. And we're here now. So it'll be a pleasure. Like to talk to you about some of these other controversies too. Especially the one about this smut you want to put inside classrooms. Do you really think you want to come on this program? You think you really want to come on here and go toe-to-toe with me on this show? I would love it. To be honest with you, this would be epic for me. This would be like slapping a cat toy. This stuff is epic, man. This stuff is great, fantastic. The stuff that I would love to talk to you about. You're never coming here. Do you understand that? You're never coming here. Talking all that smack about he's never asked to have me on. You've been asked. Boy. Anyway, I'm sorry. Again, like I said, stupidest thing I've read today. It's just stupid. And again, I'll say it again, especially to those the lovable left that loves this program. I'll tell a childhood story. This is a great story. So I had a stepfather who was a Golden Gloves boxer. And when I was, I want to say in the 5th grade, I used to go to school. Of course, I went to school all the time. Went to school in this Springfield Gardens neighborhood. And I always avoided getting into confrontations with people. I was funny, quirky, a nerd. I loved television. All I wanted to do was be left alone. I had no real friends. I had one friend named Derek who lived in the neighborhood, and he was a quirky kid too. And that was my surroundings were kids who had weird tics, so to speak. Think of any sitcom you've ever seen. I was that kid. And I remember the first time a kid ever picked a fight with me because I seemed like the one. And boy, did he put a beating on me. No punches were thrown. Nothing. This kid threw me around the playground like a rag doll. Just literally grabbed my clothes and just threw me into the fence, threw me onto the ground, scuffed me up badly. Never laid a glove on me, just threw me around. It's the most embarrassing thing happened. It happened in front of my sister, who I might add never ever pitched in to help a brother, but so it goes. And when I got home, my sister, wretched individual she is, she told my stepfather, Golden Gloves boxer, 6'1", weighed a good 230 pounds, me in the 5th grade. He heard about that and was so disappointed in me. He was angry even. And he grabbed the furniture in the house, love seat, couch, coffee table, some other stuff, and he built a small makeshift boxing ring inside the living room. He tossed me a pair of Everlast gloves, red and white, never forget them. Made me put them on, and he proceeded to beat me beat me for an hour in that living room. I don't know how hard he was throwing punches, but I know I felt like I was fighting Mike Tyson because it didn't seem like he was letting up, and he beat me. DCF, if they were worth a damn, would have been called. We had BCW when I was growing up. But I never will forget that beating, nor will I forget urinating on myself as he did it, because I was scared, confused, and didn't understand what was happening to me. That beating sat with me for my entire life. Still does. I can see it vividly. I know exactly what I was wearing. I know exactly what he was wearing. I can still see the room. It's like a nightmare. And I swore for the rest of my life that would never happen to me. Ever. I was never going to get beaten up for not sticking up for myself. Ever. Because that's what that's like. If anybody ever comes for me, ever, I'm not going to sit there and take it anymore. Ever. So if it seems like I'm taking a slight a little bit too far, I would say consider it trauma. You guys on the left, you love that, right? You like that trauma stuff. That's all. I'm just hearkening back when I was a kid. Coward, you say, huh? Come on, buddy. Can't wait till you show up. Let's take Fred in Middletown real quick. What's up, buddy?
Hey. So I just happen to know a little bit about Matt Lesser. I'd say there's a non-zero chance he shows up. Not likely. The Democrats never take live calls. But he might be so desperate that coming and getting beaten up by you might do him some good.
I think it will. I think that he would be a stronger candidate for it because, look, these guys, I get it. I'm understanding the game in Connecticut in ways that I never did before, especially on a political in the political arena. These guys are really like they live in a bubble. They've been protected by this bubble for so long. And a guy like me might come along. There may be some others out there. Some other guys. I mean, I know, you got your Vinnies and some other guys who were down in the, New Haven, area who who are very, very, headstrong and are coming after these guys.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you, look, I believed in a particular approach, and I kind of feel like it works. But like I said, I would have never put this guy on my radar. Under any other circumstance, he would have never been on my radar. The fact that he didn't even have to call me a coward. I don't even understand why he did.
Well, he's been at it a minute. He might be getting sloppy.
I think so.
He was the hardest working man in show business, man. He used to put in a lot of time. And when he started out, being Jewish was an asset, around here And he beat Ray Kalinowski, some old Republican. And now Matt is an older, cis, white male property owner.
Yeah, but somebody's got to explain this to me. Why was he allowed to run unopposed?
He ran unopposed last time. I didn't have that. No, but in any event, I don't know about that. I mean, there's no Republican Party, and ask Mark about that.
Yeah, indeed.
But in other words, he's now the establishment. He owns a house. He's a property owner. He's married to a woman. They have a kid. He's married to a birthing person. And the rest is coming for him like they came for Ben Florsheim.
Yeah.
He didn't get run out of town by meanie Trump-style Republicans like Seb Giuliano or what's his name, Polino and Billy Wilson. He got run out by sharp-toothed people to the left of him who wanted to tear his flesh from his white cis male bones.
All right, we'll see what happens. I doubt he's coming. I think I agree with you. I don't think he's coming anywhere near this show. Thank you, Fred. I appreciate you.
0 and 1%. I'm giving it 0 and 1%.
We'll see. He might surprise us all. Thank you, buddy. Let's take a break. We'll be back. More news, more views. Mike, go nowhere. We'll get you in a second when we return. It's Reese on the Radio on WTIC News Talk 1080.
Life unfolds in ways you can never quite expect. A divorce, a death in the family, a personal injury. Each time you are left searching for someone new to trust. But what if you had a full-service law firm that knows you and a firm that can represent all your legal needs? With BPS Lawyers, you get more than a lawyer. You get a full-service law firm. Visit bpslawyers.com. BPS Lawyers, your lawyers for life. proud full-service law partner of Yukon Athletics. Nick Payne-Dearis is responsible for the content of this ad.
I'm Ed Evans, CEO of Consumer Cellular. We're dedicated to serving people 50 and up like me. Our needs are different. Big Wireless wants us in an unlimited plan, but if you're not using all that data, you're probably getting used. At Consumer Cellular, we're focused on affordable, reliable plans, including data that suits your needs, not ours. Our plans start at just $20, and you'll get the best customer service in the business.
Call 1-888-FREEDOM, visit consumercellular.com/facts or a store near you. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing. See site for additional facts.
Are you having trouble hearing? Hearing loss can devastate the quality of your life. Now, there's an affordable fix for you or your loved one. Rated the best hearing aids of 2025 by Forbes Health, Audion Hearing has the highest quality hearing aids at the lowest prices, starting at just $98 a pair.
I actually like them better than my old $5,000 hearing aids.
I could not believe how my hearing and life changed.
Join over 1 million happy customers by going to audionhearing.com. That's AUDIEN hearing.com.
And now, a WTIC news update.
77 degrees at 3:30. I'm John Silva. Major snafu in New Britain just days into this new school year. There have been reports of students being late to class or brought to the wrong location. One reportedly wound up in Danbury, an hour away. Superintendent called the mistakes unacceptable. First student has offered its apologies. 2 people in the hospital following a Tuesday night shooting in Hartford. Both men arrived at Hartford Hospital as police checked out a shot spotter notification on Battles Street. Man in his 50s and other in his 70s were treated. Mixed bag on the Connecticut economy from the Connecticut Business and Industry Association, CBIA, releasing its annual survey today. Among the items, 3/4 of the respondents reported challenges in hiring. The survey also shows companies focusing on innovation in navigating local, federal, and global challenges. Minimum wage going up once again beginning January 1st. It'll be $16.94 an hour. That's an increase of about 60 cents and more than the federal minimum wage, which has been at $7.25 an hour since 2009. Russia has launched over 500 drones and 24 missiles at Ukraine, targeting civilian infrastructure as well as energy facilities. Jeffrey Epstein's accusers in D.C. today, joining with Democrats and Republicans in calling for the Justice Department to release all of the case files. WTIC News Time coming up on 3:32. Let's check the forecast.
Sunny to occasionally partly cloudy the remainder of this afternoon. Continued nice with a high of 79. Partly cloudy tonight, low 52. Another pleasant day on the way tomorrow. Good deal of sunshine. Breezy tomorrow afternoon, high 78. Becoming mostly cloudy tomorrow night with a couple of showers in the area late at night, low 63. Then warm and humid on Friday with intervals of clouds and sun. There could be a stray shower. High 84 degrees. Could be a couple of showers and thunderstorms on Saturday. I'm Bob Lawrence at the WTIC Weather Center.
All right, the Dow's down 220 points. The NASDAQ's up 132, and the S&P is up 8 points. I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News.
Join Mark Patrick Seminars Lose the Weight, Stop Smoking Early Bird Special, $49.99. Seminars Thursday, September 18th, Hilton Garden in Hartford North, Bradley International Airport, Windsor. Weight loss 5:30 p.m. Stop Smoking Seminar 8 p.m. Or Saturday, September 20th, Holiday Inn Express, Southington. Weight loss 11 a.m. Stop Smoking Seminar 2 p.m.
If you have any sort of joint pain, you got to listen up. Whether it's from years of hard work or an old injury that never healed right, whatever it is, you can have it stop right now. I'm Brian Shackman here talking about QC Kinetics. You can flip the script. It's regenerative medicine, advanced cellular treatments that help your body heal and restore the damage in your joints. They don't cover it up. They don't cut it out. They're actually helping heal and restore. The results are long-lasting relief, and it's amazing. It's so busy here in Connecticut, they opened up a 3rd office. So instead of planning your day around pain, plan it around life, whether it's walking, hiking, playing with your kids, whatever. QC Kinetics can do without surgery, without drugs. Okay, give them a call. That first consultation is totally free. So bring your MRI, your x-rays, and find out if it's something for you. 860-440-PAIN. Again, it's 860-440-PAIN. They're located in Avon, New Haven, and Glastonbury. So give them a call. Chances are it's close to you. That free consultation, 860-440-PAIN.
Hey, baseball fans, you can win tickets to a Boston Red Sox game with the Red Sox Player of the Game contest. Just listen when we announce the player of the game during the 7th inning stretch. That would be during the break in the middle of the 7th inning, during every game broadcast on WTIC. Then tune into Brian and Company the following morning at 8:10. Know the player of the game, be the correct caller, and you'll win a pair of tickets to an upcoming game in Boston. It's the Red Sox Player of the Game contest, only on WTIC. News Talk 1080.
Mint is still $15 a month for premium wireless. And if you haven't made the switch yet, here are 15 reasons why you should. 1, it's $15 a month. 2, seriously, it's $15 a month. 3, no big contracts. 4, I use it. 5, my mom uses it. Are you playing me off? That's what's happening, right? Okay.
Visit mintmobile.com/radio. Upfront payment of $45 for 3-month plan, $15 per month equivalent required. New customer offer first 3 months only. Then full price plan options available. Taxes and fees extra. See mintmobile.com.
Here's the tale of the daily med fill. Same old pharmacy, same old bill. But those prices kept rising higher still.
Till the savings wrangler rode in. Cool as can be. Tap Good RX. Saving massively.
No plan? Don't matter none. Up to 80% off. Deals are done.
Discounts hitting harder than Ma's chili. Dang. That one little app does all the rest.
Save time and money on prescriptions.
Check Good RX. Good RX is not insurance.
Coverage varies by plan, view contracts and exclusions at endurancewarranty.com. Auto repair bills are through the roof. $3,000 to replace the transmission. $4,000 for a blown engine. And if your manufacturer's warranty is expired, you'll have to cover it all out of pocket. You need an Endurance Auto Protection Plan. No matter what the mileage, if your car is under 20 years old, Endurance can get you covered on the engine, electrical system, transmission, AC, drivetrain, and more. Endurance has plans for any budget. Repairs can be done at the certified mechanic of your choice, and they're paid directly with no middleman. Plans cover 24/7 roadside assistance, towing, battery jumps, fuel deliveries, tire changes, lockout services, and a 30-day money-back guarantee. Act now and get our elite benefits, including complete tire care and key fob replacement. A $2,000 value at no extra cost. With Endurance, you could never pay for covered auto repairs again, so call now for your free quote. Call 800-253-6203. 800-253-6203. 800-253-6203.
Thinking about McLean's award-winning assisted living or memory care for someone you love? Join McLean for an informative panel discussion on September 18th at Hop Meadow Country Club in Simsbury. You'll hear from our directors of assisted living and nursing, get answers to all your questions, and enjoy light appetizers in a relaxed setting. Space is limited, so RSVP by September 10th. And if you can't make it, we're happy to schedule a private tour at your convenience. Visit exploremclean.org. McLean, where compassionate care meets community.
At Ayala Home Services, we handle hundreds of water heater issues a year. We know how much of an inconvenience no hot water is, and with our fully stocked trucks and warehouse, you can get your hot water back as soon as the same day. Contact the trusted professionals at ALO Home Services when you call, click, or text today and say hello, ALO. Call for details. Licensed for safety. HIC 628926, P102776688, S1041347, D104014665, S3308699, SM3004646, E1185643.
You're listening to Leaf Go, and the guru of gutter protection himself, Chris Coonahan, is here to take your most pressing leaf-related questions.
Hey, everybody, Chris here. I understand we have Ron on the line. Ron, where are you calling from?
Uh-oh. Ron, are you calling from a ladder?
Well, I was. I wanted to ask Chris what I need to do to get my gutters ready to have leaf filter installed.
Oh, Ron, you don't have to do anything. A Leaf Filter Trusted Pro will come out and clean out your gutters, realign and seal your gutters, and install a Leaf Filter, America's #1 gutter protection system.
So I didn't need to get on this ladder?
Ron, Leaf Filter Trusted Pros are in your neighborhood and ready to help. Just visit leaffilter.com/deal to schedule your free gutter inspection and get up to 30% off.
Thank goodness. What was that site?
That's leaffilter.com/deal for your free gutter inspection. Hey, see representative for warranty details. Promotion is 20% off plus a 10% senior or military discount. One discount per household.
Hey, everybody, Will Murata here. Happy birthday, WTIC News Talk 1080. Can I get an amen out there?
Amen, Pastor Will. What's going on, guys? We're back. It's Reese On The Radio, WTIC News Talk 1080. Excuse me. And I'm going through some of the chat room chattering here. And, of course, some of my liberal friends are in the chat room, and they love chiming in. And I appreciate them. I appreciate you. You have no idea. I love it when you come in here. Let me see. What is some of the comments that's on here? Okay, Bob J., he says, Reese, did Donald Trump lie about Obama's place of birth? That answer is no. And here is concrete evidence of that. Here is Barack Obama's inside one sheet from his first book. Obama writes, because he wrote his biology on this biography, biography. Barack Obama, the first African-American president of the Harvard Law Review, was born in Kenya and raised in Indonesia and Hawaii. So no, it was not Donald Trump who lied about Barack Obama. Barack Obama lied about Barack Obama. Another thing that Bob also asked in the chat room, here's another one. And by the way, that's evidence, by the way. I just provided you evidence that it was Barack Obama who lied about Barack Obama. He also writes, Reese, did Donald Trump lie about losing the election to Joe Biden? The answer is no.
You've also found many bags of information. I think they call them burn bags. They're supposed to be burned and they didn't get burned, having to do with how corrupt the 2020 election was. And when will that all come out?
Mr. President, I will be the first to brief you once we have that information collected. But you're right, we are finding documents literally tucked away in the back of safes in random offices in these bags and in other areas, which again speaks to the intent of those who are trying to hide the truth from the American people and trying to cover up the politicization that was led by people like John Brennan and James Clapper and others that have caused really immeasurable harm to the American people. And
holla if you hear me, they say. Holla if you hear me. Who said that? Tupac? Was that Tupac? Anyway, of course, there's a discussion in the chat room about the cost of living and, of course, the minimum wage. Bob J. also says, he's asking this question. And again, I don't know whether or not people are this naive. I don't. I really don't. I'm stunned by some of the questions when it comes to minimum wage. And it either proves one of two things, or one or two things. And that is they've never owned a business, or they do not understand basic economics. So listen to this question. Do employees have the right to request what they think is the value of their labor? Yeah, of course they do. You go to a job, you find out what they're paying. You ask, and if you've never been in a position to do that, because I have, I learned that very early on because I had people who could bother to teach me that said, if you can, ask if there is any opportunity for growth or a different pay rate. Well, I had hoped that the job paid such and such. Any wiggle room on that? And they'll tell you that that's either solid or they'll negotiate. They'll negotiate for hours. They'll negotiate for tasks. They will say, yeah, for that rate, you would have to do this, that, and the third. I've been in that position before. I've negotiated my wage. Now, if no one's ever told you that, Bob J., fire them and never listen to them again. The fact that you're a grown man and I have to tell you that today is insane. In fact, many people, by the way, employment is not slavery. Get that out of your thick head. You are not forced to take a job that pays you minimum wage. You are not forced to take a job that does not respect you and your labor. It's called quitting. Do we really have to have that discussion? Like, is that where we are in this? Where we actually have to tell people you don't have to take the job that doesn't respect what you give or offer to the employment? Really? That you don't know how to ask what the benefit packages are? What does this job come with? Is there insurance? Can I get health care provided for by my employer? Really? You don't know how to ask that? Do you just walk into a job and say, hey, y'all hiring? Yeah, I want a job. Okay. And then you think that you're stuck there? Like, really, are you asking that ridiculous question? What happened to you? Again, I feel like I'm talking to the most ignorant people in the world. And I know that sometimes in the black community, if you use the word ignorant, you think it's an insult. But no, ignorant means without knowledge. And it doesn't appear that you do. Yes. You don't like the wage, you walk out. You're not tethered to the job just because you got an interview. Let's go to Rick. Hello, Rick. You're on Reese on the Radio. What's up?
Hey, Reese. First of all, I want to say thanks a lot for reading my screenshots on Matt Lesser.
No problem. Wait, hold on. Before we go any further, wait.
Yeah.
What prompted that conversation? Because I didn't get that part of it.
So I follow him on X, and he constantly bashes Donald Trump. So I asked him, can you tell me where are you getting all of this information where my insurance is going to go up this much money? And he said, well, read the article, he said to me. And I said to him, the articles that you provide are liberal articles from liberal news stations or papers, I said.
Mm-hmm.
You go on different sites, OAN, Newsmax, and you won't see this. So I said to him, stop spreading these lies. And I said, if you really want to have a conversation with a guy, I mentioned you because you are a man that speaks the truth no matter what party. So that's when he came back and said to me, I think Reese is the coward. And I'm like, oh, boy, I don't think you want to go there, but I'm glad we're there. And now just follow him for me on X3, and you will see what this man is about.
Well, it's funny because I did, and as soon as I went to his X page. By the way, Rick is the person in question that was doing the back and forth with State Senator Matt Lesser, and I went to go look up his site, and the one that he's getting the most burn about is this suggestion that Donald Trump's Affordable Care Act that he's saying that is going to cause this effective change of 900 right. So he's saying that the policies of the big, beautiful bill will cost taxpayers who make $128,000 a year, a family of four, that their monthly insurance premiums, premiums, would go from $900 a month to $4,400 a month. Now, he makes this claim online emphatically. He says it will. He uses the word will. And then I said, I love it when these guys use the words will and does, right? Especially when they say it with this impunity, right? It's sort of like it's going to happen. So then you start looking at where they're getting the information from. And I'm glad you called because I went and looked up, and it turns out the site and the organization he's citing on their own website, they use a different word. They do not use the word will. The word they use is could.
Yeah, right.
That is an important distinction, right? Because if you're trying to make a case, the objective is to say, it's sort of like saying, hey, Rick, if you go down that alley, you could be mugged. Now, if that's in your head, you won't go down the alley. But if you feel a little fearless, you could go down the alley, come out on the other side. You don't get harmed. And, and then you can come on the other side and tell your wife, hey, sweetheart, I came home and I had to go through a shortcut through the alley. I could have got mugged, but there was no one there.
Yeah, that's right. That's how he scares everybody. He doesn't give you the real facts.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. And so that's the impetus of all of this, is like telling people that it will happen, and that's where he's being disingenuous. And so I said, look, and that's the reason why I'm saying I would love to have him on the show to say, why are you going around telling people that something will happen when the data you're citing uses the word could? So change it. And that's what I want to do. I want him on the air and get him literally on the record to go back and change the words to could and stop lying to your constituents. That's all I want.
Right. And stop bashing Donald Trump. I mean, when does he talk about the good that Donald Trump has done?
I'll go one step further. I don't care that he bashes Trump. Let him do it. But what I'm saying is, just like I said to Rick about Chris Murphy, regardless of what they do, the bottom line is stop being disingenuous. The thing that you're accusing Donald Trump of doing, you're doing in your own post. Telling people that it's going to raise their rates from $900 to $4,400 is a possibility. It is not set in stone. Why? Because we also know that Republicans are working for carve-outs that will not affect families of four. So he doesn't even mention that.
Right. Now, Reese, one more thing. So I just sent him another response on X, and I said, well, Reese has called you out. You called him a coward. I said, let's step up and go on Reese's show, and we'll see what happens. And then if you don't go, I guess we'll see who the coward is.
I guess, like I said, you can't. What do I say every time, Rick? When you let them set the standard, make them live by it. Right?
That's right.
That's right. Thank you. I appreciate you doing it, man. Thank you so much. It was not, by the way, even though the check's in the mail, I did not coerce you.
Oh, you did it. Thank you very much, Reese.
You got it, sir. Like I said, I didn't. No way did I tell the guy. I didn't tell the guy to write it. He sent it to me and said, hey, you had this exchange with him. So I'm like, oh, okay. Mike, I promise you, I'm getting you in the next break. So stand by real quick. I didn't realize Rick was calling, so I wanted to get to that real quick. Stand by. Some of these things are just great. Donald says, Reese, salary has not kept pace with the cost of living for the working class. Get a better education. The job's on you. That's all. I didn't go to the Connecticut School of Broadcasting to be here. I had to send a fax to a morning show. I started in radio making $125 a week in the year 2000. I quit a $70,000 a year job to get into this business. I made the sacrifices. Please spare me about this whole thing about the cost of living. That's up to you, my friend. Don't put that onus on everybody else. That absolves you of any responsibility or accountability. But then again, that's typical from somebody on the left. You think how much money you make is based on them, not you. After you've sent your kids to college, Donald, did you really rely on the government to make that possible? I doubt it. We'll take a break. We'll come back, and then we'll get to Mike in Newington when we return. Stand by. It's Reese on the Radio on WTIC NewsTalk 1080.
Low testosterone affects many men today, even men as young as 30. But finding someone you can trust for quality low T treatment isn't so easy. This is Dale for Northeast Men's Health, a promedic restorative health practice. And that's why I'm pleased to announce the opening of our newest location of Northeast Men's Health right here in Warwick. As a promedic affiliate, Northeast Men's Health has the experience and expertise to get you the right treatment for your particular medical situation. At Northeast Men's Health, we're experts in treating low testosterone. In fact, we've successfully treated thousands of men for low T and have seen the amazing impacts low T treatments have. If you're like most men, you'll sleep better, have more energy and improve mental clarity, get better gains in the gym, and your sex drive will likely improve as well. So call us. Just $99 gets you a PSA and T test and a medical consult. And if you start on testosterone the day of your appointment, your visit is free. Call 800-930-5956. That's 800-930-5956. Or go to northeastmenshealth.com. We have 6 offices across the Northeast to serve you.
Here's a few questions for you from California Psychics. Do your workdays seem to go on forever? Is your career progression as fast as downtown traffic? Or does your boss still not know your name?
Hey, you, Tina, Lisa, Sheila, whatever. Get that report to me by lunch, okay? It's Terry, ma'am. Just get it done, Terry.
It's time to read the career warning signs and talk to California Psychics. We're always on hand to give you the career guidance you need. You see, we only connect you with the very best. In fact, 98% of the psychics who apply to work with us don't make the grade. That's why we can guarantee if your reading isn't life-changing, it's free. So you could soon be telling your boss where to stick that report.
Where are you going, Terry? Terry!
Experience the joy of certainty. California Psychics. Call 1-800-PREDICT today and get 20 minutes for just $20.
Home equity could vanish almost overnight, stolen by scammers who forge a deed and transfer it out of your name. The FBI calls it house stealing, and the worst part is you may not know it until it's too late. Find out if you're already a victim now at HomeTitleLock.com. Use promo code RADIO for a 30-day free trial, a title scan, and access to a title specialist, a $250 value. Go to HomeTitleLock.com now. Promo code RADIO.
Millions are choosing NordVPN to stay safer online. Get NordVPN today with 77% off and up to 3 months extra. NordVPN will encrypt your online traffic and help you avoid phishing, scams, and malware. Get the special NordVPN deal today at nordvpn.com. This offer includes a 77% discount on a 2-year plan and up to 3 extra months. Savings and additional terms apply and can be found on nordvpn.com. The offer is valid until October 15th.
It's Reese on the Radio on NewsTalk 1080 WTIC.
If you really want to know something, for those of you who listen on the radio and listen online on WTIC.com or even ReeseOnTheRadio.com, the thing I have to tell you that's absolutely funny and satisfying is that if you were listening in the last break when a question was being asked about Barack Obama and Donald Trump about whether or not he lived in Kenya, when I provided the proof, silence. When I talked about the 2020 election, provided the proof, silence. They've moved on. They moved on. I am trying my best, and I hope that you guys don't take this as arrogance. I'm trying my best to help you and assist you in these debates with your friends and your family. That's all. And again, people tell me all the time, Rama, who listens to the show very often, says this all the time. Reese, I'm amazed at your recall. His recall is incredible, too. But I do this for a living for that same reason. Is that I have to have these debates with everybody in my life. Outside of doing radio, you'd be stunned. Now that, there's comments in the chat room talking about, well, if Donald Trump is so popular, why is his approval ratings in the 40s? Barack Obama's was 41, November of 2013, after his reelection. What's your point? November of 2013, Barack Obama sat at 41. It's not a flex. And having a selective, memory about polling data, like how did the Messiah have a 41% approval rating? How did that happen? It was probably racism, huh? Let's go to Mike in Newington. How are you, sir?
Hey, how you doing, brother?
What's up?
So listen, on the old Matt Lester thing, I mean, I can tell you right now, as a Newington resident, he is thoroughly despised here.
I heard.
It's not even funny. Don't let anybody kid you. Nobody likes him, and he goes hand in hand with another guy who's a state rep in the area here, Matt Turco. I'm sure you've heard the name
Yeah, of course.
They like to call him Matt Turdco around Newington. But I'll just tell you right now, the most he took a lot of Lester took a lot of pride this summer, no pun intended,
right,
in June, in joining and having the pride flag raised in Newington at the town hall.
I remember.
I find that disgusting, just like in Wethersfield there. And you know what? There should only be 2 flags at the town hall, the state flag and the United States of America flag. And if any other flag is to be raised, I'd say a veteran's flag should be raised there. And that's all I'm going to say.
Well, nonetheless, Mike, thank you for holding, and I appreciate it. I'm sorry that the folks of Newington have to endure him, but perhaps, and by the way, I know that there are a lot of Newington folks who listen to the show, and I commend them and I appreciate them. But I will tell them this. Get on that guy. Tell him, hey, you called him a coward because he didn't ask. Now he's asked, so get on the show.
But I agree with Fred from Middletown, too, that he may come on just because of the old saying, there's no such thing as bad press.
Yeah, you know what? You might be right. And trust me, we'll make it very bad.
Have a great day, brother.
You got it, man. We'll take a break. We got news, and we got news coming up, of course, as well as traffic and weather. Our first check of both in a second. When we return, don't forget, we have got Alexandra Bauer of Moms for Liberty joining the program. We'll talk to her about what she's doing and pretty much how she became a chapter member of Moms for Liberty. Bob Larson's got your weather, and Mark Christopher, he's in a BPS traffic center. How are we doing, sir?
We're doing good, Reese. Thank you very much. Good afternoon to you. Good afternoon, everyone. Southbound 91 coming into Harper delays 33 down to 32 IMB. And then once you get south of downtown, you're moving very well. Northbound 91 is okay. Cromwell through downtown up into Hartford. Just a little tight about around 33 Jennings Road. Westbound 84 slowing 56 Governor Street out to 47 Sigourney. 84 eastbound, some tight traffic now. 44 Prospect Oakwood down into the tunnel. Looks good. 291 through 84. 2 westbound's a little tight as you merge with 84 West and East Hartford. 9 northbound slowing Harbor Park up to the Aragoni Bridge. If you're heading into Waterbury, 84 eastbound, got some slow traffic. 18 to the Mixmaster. Westbound 84 is sluggish. 26 in Cheshire up to the Mixmaster. 84 eastbound in Cheshire, slowing, getting by 26 down to the 691 interchange. Southbound on the Parkway, slowing by 60 in Hamden, and southbound 95 New Haven slows 46 down to 43 in West Haven. Traffic and weather together on the 8th. WTIC News Talk 1080.
Traffic brought to you by the Connecticut Police Chiefs Association. Before our children get to school, they're on the roads, on sidewalks, in crosswalks, riding bikes, and waiting for buses. So put away the distractions and slow down. School's in. Drive smart. A message from the Connecticut Police Chiefs Association and Connecticut DOT.
WTIC weather.
Sunny to occasionally partly cloudy the remainder of this afternoon. Continued nice with a high of 79. Partly cloudy tonight, low 52. Another pleasant day on the way tomorrow. Good deal of sunshine. Breezy tomorrow afternoon, high 78. Becoming mostly cloudy tomorrow night with a couple of showers in the area late at night, low 63. Warm and humid on Friday with intervals of clouds and sun. There could be a stray shower. High 84 degrees. Could be a couple of showers and thunderstorms on Saturday. I'm Bob Larson at the WTIC Weather Center.
WTIC is celebrating 100 years on the air and 100 years of serving Connecticut. This is WTIC and WTIC FM HD2 Hartford, an Odyssey station.
4 o'clock in the afternoon, I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News. Jeffrey Epstein accusers joined with lawmakers from both parties in Capitol Hill today, calling for the release of all the files on the pedophile financier.
President Trump has called the Epstein files a hoax, but survivor Marina Lacerda, speaking publicly for the first time, says,
"This is not a hoax. It's not going to go away."
Other survivors chimed in.
It is not okay for us to be silenced.
Many survived death threats and humiliation, adding,
"This is therapy for all of us, too."
It's time you do is right by us. Unseal all the documents.
Allison Keyes, CBS News, Washington.
Rising costs, workforce challenges, and uncertainty. Some of the areas of concern for respondents of the annual survey of businesses from the Connecticut Business and Industry Association. More than 9 in 10 that responded to the survey say labor and healthcare costs, as well as taxes, are driving up the cost of doing business here. Ezra Greenberg is with the firm McKinsey & Company. He says tariffs will continue to be a factor.
Just from the sheer size of the money that's coming in and the sheer problems with the budget deficit that we have right now, these are going to be with us, right? Maybe at a lower level, maybe at a higher level, but this is a new regime, and I think we just need to kind of get used to it because I don't think it's really going anywhere.
3/4 of the respondents reported difficulty in hiring and retaining workers, with 12% saying the business climate is improving, 40% saying it's declining. Unacceptable is how New Britain's school superintendent describes complaints about school buses as the new year gets underway. Reports of some students being late for class, others being taken to the wrong locale altogether. One mom whose son has autism says her child, who attends class in Waterbury, wound up in Danbury. First student has offered apologies. Many of the foul-ups involved students with special needs, according to the superintendent. Florida fixing to end all childhood vaccine mandates. The Sunshine State would be the first to eliminate such mandates. Florida Surgeon General Dr. Joseph Ladapo.
Your body is a gift from God. What you put into your body is because of your relationship with your body and your God.
Governor Ron DeSantis also announced the creation of a state-level Make America Healthy Again commission, modeled after the initiatives being pushed by Federal Health and Human Services Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr. Democrats trying to protect abortion rights for veterans. They have filed a bill that would block a proposed Trump administration rule banning the procedure at the VA. Since 2022, the agency has allowed abortions in the case of rape, incest, or threat to the mother's life. Senator Richard Blumenthal says the administration's moving backward.
There was a time in this country when no women served in the military. That's where this administration wants to go.
There was a time in this country when no women received VA health care. That's where this administration wants to go.
Says sexual assault is still rampant in the military and victims need access to a full range of care. Russia's president said today if common sense prevails, there could be a pathway toward ending the war with Ukraine. Correspondent Aaron Navarro at the White House reports President Trump talks with Ukraine's president on Thursday.
The possibility and likelihood of a bilateral meeting between Russia and Ukraine seems very low. President Putin said that he's not ruling it out as long as it happens in Moscow, which is very unlikely that Ukrainian President Zelensky would accept that. And President Trump certainly voicing his disappointment.
Putin's in China, where he attended a military parade marking the 80th anniversary of the end of World War II. Wall Street, the Dow down 24, NASDAQ up 218, S&P up 32. For these stories and more, go to WTIC.com. I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. To be afraid, to be scared.
Did
and
you
they
see
try to frighten you
Alexandra's
into
phone
calling.
ringing?
I'm not
Or
here to
did you
do
miss
that.
it?
Tax relief.
I haven't seen anything come on.
Yeah, she
money
she
to
did.
the IRS,
it's okay,
whether
my
it's
fault.
5,000, 50,000.
Did she call the hotline or the
Yeah,
regular line?
she called the hotline.
Solution.
Because the TV lights up. The TV ain't light up.
Or with your kids, no matter where you are, call now. 800-575-6986. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-6986. That's 800-575-6986. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
It's Reese on the radio. And don't say we didn't warn you on News Talk 1080 WTIC.
We're back, Reese on the radio, and coming up in a little bit. Oh, there she is. Okay, good enough. I was worried about whether or not she got my message. Okay, give us a couple of minutes. We are going to have Alexandra Bauer on the program. She's from Moms of Liberty. She is the chapter head in Bergen County for Moms for Liberty. And we're going to talk to her about parental rights, talking about, things that we've been talking about. Wow, it almost feels like 5-6 years now since the introduction of Moms for Liberty. We'll talk about her story. If you've never heard her story before and how it started with the Girl Scouts of America with her own daughter, in how we're seeing so much of this crazy indoctrination that's going on with children as it relates to gender, sex, transgender, just all of this stuff, and how she's fighting with other mothers and encouraging other mothers to come out of hiding to defend their daughters and their children overall. So we'll get to her in a second, so stand by for that. I'm looking forward to a great conversation with her. She is everywhere, and she is fighting a good fight tirelessly. And I want her to be an inspiration to a lot of people out there because, again, this was somebody who I feel, at least from the way the story has been presented, was thrusted into a fight. Some people don't think that the fight never reaches their doorstep. And you wake up one morning and you find out that the fight is there, and you're wondering, where the hell did where did this come from? I talk about that all the time. There's so many people in the dark about it, and then they wake up one morning and find out that it's not so much about the fight, it's also about when they find out what their kids aren't allowed to do anymore, or what they were never asked their permission for. And that's why groups like Moms for Liberty, even though there are so many people in the news media who malign them, are fighting even more because some people have a tendency to be discouraged by it. And the fight is real. The fight is real. It's not made up. And you got to give props to the folks that are in it. So we'll do that in just a little bit with Alexandra Bauer of Moms for Liberty. With that, let's get another check of our weather and traffic with Bob Larson and Mark Christophers in the BPS Traffic Center. Hey, Mark.
Hey, Reese, thank you very much. Well, if you're coming into Hartford right now, southbound 91 delays approaching 33, down to 32 A and B. and then you'll slow again as you move down by exit 18 in Meriden for the 691 interchange. If you're northbound 91, easy ride Cromwell up into Windsor. Westbound 84 is head up just after 56 Governor Street out to 47 Sigourney. 84 eastbound slowing approaching 46 Sisson Avenue down to the Bulkley Bridge. Looks good. 291, 384, 2 eastbound, no issues into Glastonbury. 9 northbound slowing Harbor Park to the Aragoni Bridge. Again, 9 northbound, some slow traffic as you move up on exit 31 in Berlin. 84 eastbound Waterbury, some tight traffic. 18 to the Mixmaster. Westbound 84 sluggish. 26 up to the Mixmaster in Waterbury. If you're traveling southbound on the Parkway, you've got some slow traffic. 60 into the West Rock northbound Parkway, slowing by 59. And if you're traveling south 95 New Haven, you're slowing from 46 down to 44 in New Haven. Traffic and weather together on the 8th WTIC News Talk 1080.
WTIC weather.
Sunshine the rest of this afternoon and pleasant. Continued low humidity, 79 for the high. And tonight, partly cloudy, cool again overnight, low 52. We'll see Sunday tomorrow, high 78 degrees. And turning cloudy tomorrow night. There could be a couple of showers in the area late tomorrow night, low 63. Warm, humid weather on Friday with a mixture of clouds and sunshine, chance of a shower, and a high of 84. Right now it is 76 in Torrington. It's 79 degrees in West Hartford, 78 in Hartford. This is meteorologist Bob Larson in the WTIC Weather Center.
Join Mark Patrick Seminars Lose the Weight, Stop Smoking Early Bird Special, $49.99. Seminars Thursday, September 18th, Hilton Garden in Hartford North, Bradley International Airport, Windsor. Weight loss 5:30 p.m. Stop Smoking Seminar 8 p.m. Or Saturday, September 20th, Holiday Inn Express, Southington. Weight loss 11 a.m. Stop Smoking Seminar 2 p.m.
Eggland's Best, the only eggs with more fresh and delicious taste, plus superior nutrition. Available in so many delicious varieties. Classic, cage-free, organic, free-range, and pasture-raised. Eggland's Best. Better taste, better nutrition, better eggs.
Your local Staples has hot deals and super low prices throughout the store on everything for your business. And right now at Staples, save up to $125 off your print order. Exclusions apply. Visit staples.com/print for details. Ends 9/13. And save even more with the Easy Rewards program at Staples.
At Columbia Dental, we love to make kids smile. Our expert pediatric dentists specialize in children's dental care, making every visit fun and comfortable. Open 7 days a week. Call 860-645-0111 or visit columbiadental.com.
Maybe it's hot outside, but maybe it's going to be cold outside real soon. Say, come on into Campbell. When the weather's hot, you should be thinking cold. Before you start up that heat pump, boiler, or furnace, contact Campbell to get on their service short list. If old reliable's too old and not reliable, talk to Campbell about a Campbell custom upgrade to your system. Connect with Campbell today at campbellcooling.com. That's campbellcooling.com.
Campbell Cooling uses all major name brands, including American Standard and Mitsubishi heating and cooling equipment. Let our expert technicians heat your home this fall.
Talk has the power to save lives. Join WTIC News Talk 1080 on Wednesday, September 10th at 7 for I'm Listening, a special broadcast event featuring some of the biggest names in music and sports and insight from some of the most respected mental health professionals, spreading awareness about mental health and the message that talk saves lives. I'm Listening is hosted by Carson Daly with Cynthia Erivo, Kane Brown, Kylie Minogue, Benny Blanco, and more. You're not alone. Join us Wednesday, September 10th at 7 for I'm Listening on WTIC News Talk 1080 and on the Odyssey app. For more information, visit imlistening.org. Brought to you by the Connecticut Prevention Network. Following I'm Listening, we will continue the conversation with the host of WTIC's Mental Wellness, Anne-Marie Maffeud, a licensed marriage and family therapist. Hear this local hour only on WTIC News Talk 1080 from 8 till 9.
You hear? Sound of your business losing money. Legacy phone systems weren't built for today's teams. Open Phone gives your business a smarter way to stay connected. Open Phone lets you manage calls, texts, voicemail, and contacts all in one place so that you and your team can deliver a seamless customer experience from ring to... Need to take calls on the go? Open Phone automatically transcribes, summarizes, and highlights next steps from every call, so you never miss a detail. Need insight into what closes a sale? With Open Phone's AI call tags, you can instantly spot key topics like objections or pricing questions, and use those insights to coach your team and level up every customer interaction. And yes, you can bring your existing number with you for free. Keep your team in sync and your customers happy with Open Phone. No missed calls, no missed customers.
Try OpenPhone for free at openphone.com/try and get 20% off your first 6 months. That's openphone.com/try. openphone.com/TRY.
It's Reese on the Radio on News Talk 1080 WTIC.
All right, we are back, and we are absolutely privileged, as Reese on the Radio, to have this woman on the program today because I have been a big fan of this organization because I used to live in Virginia when I started my moving company back in the early days around COVID 2019. Loudoun County was where my business was, and that's kind of where Moms for Liberty was formed. But out of the Bergen County, New Jersey area, Alexandra Bowers with us today. How are you, ma'am?
Hi, Reese. How are you?
I am fantastic. And, you know, your story is, as I said earlier, is one of those stories where you kind of get pushed into a situation, like, you know, is pushed into a fight like without your consent, so to speak, because you have to defend your own children or at least your own community. So this all starts after you've had 7 stellar and wonderful years in the Girl Scouts, and all of a sudden, out of nowhere, ideologies were being pushed into Girl Scouts. Tell everybody a little bit about that story.
For sure. Okay, well, yes, I've been a Girl Scout. Well, I mean, I'm not anymore because I got fired. But I was a Girl Scout leader for 7 years. I've been the chapter chair of Moms for Liberty for almost 5.
Mm-hmm.
I started it, same thing, you know, COVID and eye-opening. And so I've been used to fighting for the kids for about 5 years. But this was really the first time it had escalated, let's say, where, you know, people were really getting nasty. We were getting, you know, death threats and hate mail, and I got swatted. So this was when it really started to escalate. So I would hear this from other Moms for Liberty chapters, like all these awful things that were happening to them. But I hadn't really experienced too much of that by me. I have an extremely strong chapter.
Right.
We have thousands of members. People are very active. You know, they know that if they want something done, they call me up. I'd speak at their Board of Ed meeting, and be, you know, I'm not intimidated of anybody or anything, and we're going to go there and we're going to get it done.
Right.
But this was a little different. So, fast forward to, I believe it was March of this past year. And, you know, you know what, let me back it up a little bit. If you don't know how Girl Scouts works,
okay,
you have National Girl Scouts, and then you have, like, for instance, in Jersey, they then answer, Northern New Jersey Girl Scouts answer to National, and then you have a service unit leader in your town, and they answer to them, and then you have your own troop, right?
Okay.
So Girl Scouts, you have your own troop. I've had my own troop with 2 co-leaders, wonderful co-leaders, a kindergarten teacher, and actually a police officer. So we've had a really awesome troop and about 30 girls. And my girls are awesome. They hike, they fish, they make blankets for the seniors in our town. In fact, the seniors in our town, they would go play games with them throughout the year. They would go sing Christmas or Hanukkah songs.
Wow.
They would bake them things. Yeah, like if you could picture a Girl Scout troop, it was this.
No, listen. Can I tell you a little bit of inside baseball here, Alexandra?
Yes.
So you were the chapter leader for Girl Scouts in Bergen County. I used to live in Fort Lee.
Okay.
So I'm pretty sure that you know, having to, you know, with my kids who went to PS4, you know, being in the area. So Girl Scouts, and again, is the fabric of our life. You know, the young one was in Boy Scouts when he was, you know, at PS4. So yeah, we probably interacted in some sort of weird way over, you know, at least the troops have in some way. So I understand Bergen County, very neighborhoody, suburban, and very involved in the community.
Extremely involved. The parents, we're a lucky community where a lot of the parents do work from home, or maybe only one parent works, or you know, part-time, and there's a parent that's always involved. They're volunteering, you know, they're coaching, they're in their kids' school. Like it's definitely a very family-oriented county. And so, it's just a wonderful, wonderful, well, it was a wonderful organization. It used to, right, it used to stand for God, Country, Community, and that's why I started it. Well, for two reasons. One, I wanted it to be exciting and fun for the girls.
Right.
I'm nothing against Tea Party troops, but my girls are not Tea Party girls.
Okay.
They are active, right? So I wanted to make sure that we were going to make it fun. And I also wanted to make sure that who was going to be around my children specifically, all the children, but definitely mine, they're safe. They're safe adults. I wanted to make sure, they get their background checked. You have to be certified. You have to take a course to say, hey, don't have these conversations with kids. But, anybody can, for the most part, pass those things. I want to know who you are as a person, what you're going to be saying to my children. And so I said, well, what better way than to be the troop leader myself?
There you go.
Right? There you go. That's it. So over the few years, we would meet after school. We would be outside. We'd meet at the school. But you have these town-wide events that the service unit manager, right, for the whole town would put on.
Mm-hmm.
And she started having them, and they were lovely events. Line dancing, and there was a tea party, but just like but also baking for the seniors. Like, they had some really nice events, but they were doing it in a church that all of a sudden had the pride flag up. Then the church hosted an event where a 13-year-old boy who identified as a girl, so a transgender minor, was going to offer ice cream and pizza and fun and talk about your feelings and your gender at this church.
Wow.
And we were like, what? Hold on a second.
Yeesh.
We called the town, right? And we call the town, it says like all ages on it. We call the town and we say, what is going on here? Who's the adult that's running this event? And they said, well, it's through the, Gender Sexual Alliance through the high school, but there's no adults. Oh, so
wait a minute. The 13-year-old was there unsupervised, no sort of like person there to sort of chaperone this kind of exchange with the girls, like other than you parents that were supposed to bring your girls there?
Correct.
Wow.
Correct. And what was so crazy is I said, well, this is something that parents should be talking to their kids about if they're confused, or a counselor should be talking, or both, ideally, right? And they said, well, children usually want to talk to their own age, their peers. And I'm like, well, I can respect that. Of course they do. However, this is an adult conversation, and one needs to be there, right? Luckily, the uproar, from what I understood, nobody showed up. So that was good.
Really?
But it kind of showed the turn of this church and the turn of the Girl Scouts. And there was more of this pushing for this pride and LGB plus. Right? So, I said to my troop, I'm just not comfortable bringing my troop to these town events anymore. If this is what the church is going to be showing, we're just not going to, if you as a parent want to sign your daughter up themselves, that's you go, that's your right.
Yeah, but you wouldn't supervise a Girl Scout troop to attend these as a troop leader.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. So we hadn't been there for quite some time. And then back in March, I got very angry phone calls from parents that, for instance, one mother, her husband said he went to drop off the daughter. He noticed that there was this really bad flag above the door. And he actually ended up taking the daughter home and said, pull her out. What organization is this? This is unacceptable. And I kept getting more and more messages. So they sent me the picture of the flag because I hadn't, been there for quite some time.
Right.
And it was the progressive pride flag.
Oh.
Yes. And if people don't know what that is,
yeah.
It has, yep.
Oh no, we know everybody here is we're definitely we're up to snuff on this one.
You know what that is. There's all kinds of things in this flag.
Yeah.
And they're all inappropriate for minors.
That's right.
And also, I'd like to point out, completely unnecessary.
Right.
Like, you would think the inappropriate part would be more important, But like, this is what I don't understand about people. Why is it necessary? Why do you feel so like moved to have this flag in front of minors? You know what I mean? Like, that's what you really
But
have
who's
to
Alexandra? By the way, if you're just joining us, we're on the phone with Alexandra Bauer of Moms of Liberty, New Jersey chapter. What are you, a chapter leader? Is that your role?
I'm a chapter chair.
Chapter
yes.
chair
Mhm.
in Bergen County, New Jersey.
Correct.
Let me talk to you a little bit about this interesting part. So this new flag, this progressive flag, which is incredibly inappropriate. If anybody hasn't seen it, go online. You will know exactly what we're talking about, but most of you do. So this flag was put on the chapter office by the Girl Scouts, I presume. This wasn't an outside.
No.
Okay.
It was put on
by the church. Okay.
Where the service unit manager of our town Girl Scouts had all of the meetings. So if you wanted to join a meeting, you had to go to this location.
Gotcha.
Right? Like I had my own troop. I threw my own meetings. We had them somewhere else because we weren't going to have anything to do with that. But if you wanted to do townwide, it had to be there, and you had to walk under this flag to get into the building.
Wow, it's just like just so in your face.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's so in your face, and it's so inappropriate and so unnecessary. And it just shows you their priorities, that it was more important for this church to be all affirming to these adults that clearly have mental health issues than to protect the safety and the innocence of these children. And let me just remind you, my troop right now, well, you know, the one that I just had,
sure.
They were going to 6th grade. But we have girls as young as kindergarten walking in. So you have 5-year-olds. 5 years old.
Yeah.
They're just grooming them. They're shoving it down their throats every chance they get. So, of course, I posted about it and called them out. And I actually called out the mayor of the town.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, what are you going to do about this? Because I realized that the church is a private place. However, these are our children, our community's children. And when you see something, you say something.
Right.
So just because this church is allowed to do it doesn't mean that it's right. Doesn't mean that we should allow it to happen. But, of course, this is what happens. I would say, you know, if I had to guess a percentage in my small town, I would probably say 80% is like-minded.
Okay.
But they won't say a word.
They're scared to death. They're scared to death.
They're scared to death. They're scared to death. And then you have a couple of people that are very loud and yell and make a big deal and say, you're a bigot and you're hateful and you're homophobic. You're like all these awful words because you don't want your children groomed. And they will never address that fact. Like
Alexandra,
that
let me ask you something. Have you ever heard of a documentary called Scouts Honor: The Secret Files of the Boy?
Yes, I've seen it. Yes.
Okay, for those of you who might remember it, it was a Netflix documentary about the Boy Scouts. And in essence, you know, and it pretty much explains itself when the subtitle is "The Secret Files of the Boy Scouts of America," which again talked about sexual abuse in the Boy Scouts. Now, this again is a scandal that people have been talking about for the last 30 years, if not longer, since I was a child. With all of that going on, the fact that you had to deal with these people pushing back on you when you were trying to protect girls in your chapter from this, the fact that you got pushed back, you know what? In fact, we're going to have to go to a break in a second. If you stick around, can you hang out for a little bit?
I'm good.
Okay, good. Because what I want to ask you is has there ever been a argument made to these folks that were so for one being the church, two, these being young girls? No one made a case that what was going on in the Boy Scouts and what was going on in other classrooms, that this was detrimental to young children, and what that pushback was like when you tried to make that case. I want to talk about a bunch of that as well. I know you're on television a lot, but I also want to ask you, do you, other than on television, do you go around to other states and talk to parents who do not have Moms of Liberty in their states? Do you do stuff like that?
Yeah, I do. I go around to any county that needs help, to any state that needs help. And I know that you guys have 3 active counties, Litchfield, Hartford, and Fairfield. But you're still missing Middlesex, New Haven, New London, Wyndham, and Poland. I'm not sure if I'm saying that right.
Yeah, Tallinn. I had the same problem here, too.
Okay.
No. Don't feel bad. It's a Jersey thing. So you know what? Stand by. We're going to come back with Alexandra Bauer. We're going to talk to her some more about what she's doing to get the word out on some of this behavior that's happening for parents and in schools all around the country. And, of course, we'll get some information on how she can get chapters started here in Connecticut. Let's get to some weather and traffic. Bob Larson has got your weather, and Mark Christopher, he's in the BPS Traffic Center. Hey, Mark.
Reese, thank you very much. Well, if you're heading toward Hartford right now, southbound side of 91 delays 33, down to 32 and being to get 27 to 28. If you're northbound 91, that moves real well. Cromwell up in Hartford. You'll see a little slow traffic up by 33 Jennings Road. Westbound 84 tied up just after 56 Governor Street out to 47 Sigourney. 84 eastbound delays approaching 46 into the tunnel. 291 through 84 okay. 2 westbound slowing from 1D up to the 84 west merge. Both sides of 9 heavy approaching the Aragoni Bridge. 9 northbound some slow traffic 30 to 31 as you move into Berlin. If you're traveling into Waterbury, 84 eastbound slowing approaching 18. If you're on the eastbound side of 84 Cheshire, a little tight approaching the 691 interchange. Westbound 84 running slow in Cheshire from 26 up to exit 25 in Waterbury. Heading down into New Haven, southbound Parkway, not too bad, just a little slow, 61 to 60. 95 southbound delays 46 down to 43 in West Haven. Traffic and weather together on the 8th WTIC News Talk 1080.
WTIC weather.
Sunny to occasionally partly cloudy the remainder of this afternoon. Continued nice with a high of 79. Partly cloudy tonight, low 52. Another pleasant day on the way tomorrow. Good deal of sunshine. Breezy tomorrow afternoon, high 78. Becoming mostly cloudy tomorrow night with a couple of showers in the area late at night, low 63. Then warm and humid on Friday with intervals of clouds and sun. There could be a stray shower. High 84 degrees. Could be a couple of showers and thunderstorms on Saturday. I'm Bob Larson at the WTIC Weather Center.
And now, a WTIC news update.
It's 4:30, Hartford temperature 78 degrees. I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News. New York City woman's facing reckless driving and other charges after state police clocked her doing 118 miles an hour on a stretch of Interstate 95 in Stratford.
You needed a weekend
Early
interview
Monday
anyway,
morning,
didn't you?
33-year-old Inga Foksha was stopped by troopers southbound near exit 33. They say her car was following the vehicle in front too closely and failed to maintain a proper lane. First Student Bus Company apologizing and says it is taking corrective action following reports of students in New Britain, particularly those with special needs, being both late and taken to the wrong locations. 2 men recovering after they were shot Tuesday night in Hartford. Officers were checking out a shot spotter on Battles Street when they learned of 2 men, one in his 50s, another in his 70s, arriving at Hartford Hospital for treatment. No word yet on suspects or a motive. Florida will work to phase out all childhood vaccine mandates in the state, building on the effort by Governor Ron DeSantis to curb vaccine requirements during the COVID-19 pandemic. Survivors of Jeffrey Epstein's abuse gathered on Capitol Hill today. They're demanding the release of the sex trafficking investigation files into the late financier. And tonight's Powerball drawing up to $1.4 billion. It is the 6th largest jackpot in U.S. lottery history. There have been 40 straight drawings without matching the 6 numbers. Wall Street, mixed bag. The Dow down 24 points today. The NASDAQ up 218, and the S&P up 32 points. Red Sox in Cleveland on TIC tonight. Pregame right after the 6 o'clock news here. The Yanks will try to make it 2 straight over the Astros in Houston. Mets fell in Detroit this afternoon, 6-2. Eastern League, the Yardgoats host Reading, 7:10 on the Odyssey app. And in the WNBA, Connecticut Sun take on Chicago. For these stories and more, go to WTIC.com. I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News.
I've been playing sports all my life. Little football, basketball, pickleball, cross training, mud events, Spartan races and things like that.
For Dr. Eric Williams, a successful chiropractor, staying active means everything. So when nagging knee pain slowed him down, he didn't want drugs or invasive surgery. He found a natural way to get lasting relief. QC Kinetics Cellular Therapies.
We're using my body's natural abilities to get better. And that's huge. In time, that's going to be the way of the future. Using your own body's ability to heal. Now I can play day to day and not have that severe pain.
Now he's back out there doing what he loves, thanks to QC Kinetics.
Life is good. You're not going to slow me down.
Leave the pain behind and get moving. Book your free consultation today with QC Kinetics.
Call QC Kinetics, 860-440-PAIN. That's 860-440-PAIN. 860-440-PAIN.
Your home equity could vanish almost overnight. Stolen scammers who forge a deed and transfer it out of your name. The FBI calls it house stealing. And the worst part is, you may not know it until it's too late. Find out if you're already a victim now at HomeTitleLock.com. Use promo code RADIO for a 30-day free trial, a title scan, and access to a title specialist, a $250 value. Go to HomeTitleLock.com now. Promo code RADIO.
Millions are choosing NordVPN to stay safer online. Get NordVPN today with 77% off and up to 3 months extra. NordVPN will encrypt your online traffic and help you avoid phishing, scams, and malware. Get the special NordVPN deal today at NordVPN.com. This offer includes a 70% discount on a 2-year plan and up to 3 extra months. Savings and additional terms apply and can be found on NordVPN.com. The offer is valid until October 15th.
Stay locked in. Reese on the Radio is on WTIC News Talk 1080.
All right, we've got Alexandra Bauer on the phone. She's with Moms for Liberty. We're talking to her about how she ended up, of course, in Moms for Liberty and her story as it relates to the Girl Scouts, which then led her to this venture to where fighting for parents and mothers and all across the country, helping them start up Moms for Liberty all across the fruited plain. We'll get to her in a second. Of course, we'll get to weather and traffic in a second. So I got to keep her on hold just because if I get into an interview, then I got to break for traffic and weather. It's going to be a whole mess. But we'll get to that. Also, I want to say that, Alexandra, I know you're listening. I just tagged you in a post for an X account called Truth Teller. If you don't know the story, you'll find out about it. It is about a woman by the name of Elvira Saeed, and it's the story about how her daughter took her own life because she was influenced by the transgender movement. Her daughter was a student at Rider University in New Jersey, took her life at that school, if you are not aware of it. So I tagged you in it so you can follow her story. It was also a part of a Project Veritas exclusive investigation, which probably means you probably have heard about it. I'm also looking on here and seeing every place that Alexandra is promoting. I know she's in New Jersey because that's where Moms of Liberty pretty much started because of the events that took place in Loudoun County. Many of you know that story about the father who was arrested because he was trying to fight for his daughter who had been sexually assaulted in a bathroom by a young man who was calling himself a girl. Which is where all of this led. We'll talk to her about that, how her situation with the Girl Scouts led her to Moms for Liberty and that whole transformation and some of the stuff that she's trying to get moms to come out and talk about. This is an important conversation now that school has started and people think that the news cycle on this subject has died. And as much as people tend to forget about whatever the hot button issue was last year or the year before, they take advantage of that and then secretly keep maneuvering, doing the same stuff to children. As we like to say here, you've got to keep your foot on the pedal, if not on the necks of these individuals who are doing that. You got guys here like, Bob Duff, and of course now, who's now in my sights, Senator Matt Lesser. We've got to make sure that these guys don't continue this deplorable, to use their word, behavior when it comes to kids in schools. So we'll continue to talk to Alexandra about that and what she's doing and some of the ways that people can start their own chapter. I think they can. I think there's a way that they can contact them and see if we can get her into town. Come hang out. Maybe she could talk to some moms who are fed up and don't know exactly what to do. And I'll actually ask her a controversial question because to be honest with you, I got to tell you folks, you know who I'd really like to see involved with Moms for Liberty? I'd like to see some of the moms in the black and brown communities as well. Because as you know, and I've said it here over and over again, that those parents do not know what's happening inside their schools. They are not aware of it, primarily because they don't have the time to pay attention to that stuff. Some of them are, they watch news for weather and traffic, as we do here on the 8s with Bob Larson and Mark Christopher's in the BPS Traffic Center. How we doing, bud?
We're doing good, Reese. Thank you very much. Well, if you're heading into Hartford right now, southbound side of 91 looks slow, 33 to 32. Again, 27 down to 28. Northbound 91, easy ride. Cromwell up into Hartford, a little slow, getting by 33 Jennings Road. If you're traveling westbound 84, delays approaching the Bulkley Bridge in East Hartford down to 46 Sisson Avenue. 84 eastbound slowing approaching 46. Sisson down to the Bulkley. 2 westbound slowing in East Hartford. 1D up to the 84 west merge. Looks good. 291 through 84. 9 northbound Middletown. Some slow traffic approaching Harbor Park to the Aragoni Bridge. Southbound 9 a little slow as you approach the Aragoni Bridge. Northbound 9 some slow traffic as you move up between 30 and 31 into Berlin. Again, a little slow getting by exit 22 in Berlin. 84 eastbound slowing by 18 in Waterbury. And again, as you move down by the 691 interchange, westbound 84 slowing in Cheshire, 26 up to 23 in Waterbury. If you're traveling southbound on the Parkway, you got delays now. 60 down into the West Rock Tunnel. 95 southbound, you're slowing in New Haven. 46 down to 43 in West Haven. Traffic and weather together on the 8's WTIC News Talk 1080.
WTIC weather.
It's staying pleasant the rest of today. Sunshine at a high of 79. Then clear to partly cloudy tonight. Another cool night, below 52 degrees. And then mostly sunny tomorrow. Breezy tomorrow afternoon, high 78. Clouds rolling tomorrow night. Could see a couple of showers in the area late at night. Maybe even a thunder shower. Low tomorrow night, 63. Then humid on Friday. Partial sunshine and warm. Chance of a shower, high 84. There could be a couple of thunderstorms in the area on Saturday. Right now it is 76 in Marlborough, 79 degrees in Plymouth, and 78 in Hartford. I'm meteorologist Bob Larson of the WTIC Weather Center.
Join Mark Patrick Seminars Lose the Weight, Stop Smoking Early Bird Special, $49.99. Seminars Thursday, September 18th, Hilton Garden in Hartford North, Bradley International Airport, Windsor. Weight loss 5:30 p.m. Stop Smoking Seminar 8 p.m. Or Saturday, September 20th, Holiday Inn Express, Southington. Weight loss 11 a.m. Stop Smoking Seminar 2 p.m.
Suicide is something that affects all of us, and we can all play a part in saving lives. Make a difference in your community by walking out of the darkness with us on Saturday, September 27th at Bushnell Park in Hartford. Help spread awareness and understanding. Send the message that help is available and raise funds for the American Foundation for Suicide Prevention. Register today at afsp.org/CT Capital Area, and then we'll see you in Bushnell Park September 27th. WTIC News Talk 1080 is proud partner of the American Federation for Suicide Prevention Out of the Darkness Walk.
Slow, clogged, backed up? Don't worry. ALO Home Services has you covered. For only $93, our technician will clear any drain in your home. And if it can't be cleared, it's free. Call for details. License number HIC 628926, P10277688, S10413487, D10401465, S3308698, SM3004646, E1185643.
You're listening to Leaf Filter Radio, and the guru of gutter protection, Chris Coonahan, is here to take your most pressing leaf-related questions.
I was saying to you earlier, you needed a weekend interview anyway,
where are you
right?
calling from?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Ron, are you calling from a ladder?
Well, I was. I wanted to ask Chris what I need to do to get my gut.
I actually waited to see what you had today.
You don't have to do anything.
I got you covered, sir. I got you
come
covered.
out and clean out your gutters, realign and seal your gutters, and install Leaf Filter, America's #1 gutter
You
protection
have no
system.
idea. I really operate keeping you in mind. I really
Ron,
meant
Leaf
that.
Filter trusted pros are in your neighborhood and ready to help.
Yeah, I was like, I like to get it done early, so you've been coming through.
Get up to 30% off.
Thank goodness. What was that site?
That's Leaf
Anton.
Deal for your free gutter inspection today. See representative for warranty details. Promotion is 20% off plus a 10% senior or military discount. One discount per household.
The NAACP calls him, whoa, Oh, I don't think I'm allowed to read this. It's Reese on the Radio. Let's just say some people are not fans. On News Talk 1080 WTIC.
Yeah, I don't care. They can hate me all they want. As the old saying goes, they hate me because they ain't me. It's Reese on the Radio on WTIC News Talk 1080. And again, we thank our guest, Alexandria Bauer, for being on the program. She is with Moms for Liberty in Bergen County. Alexandra, you in having this conversation with you, I am really impressed at the fact that you did not stand down. You did not take it lying down, even though all of these people were coming after you, calling you everything in the book that's supposed to make people sort of wilter. You refused. Talk to me a little bit about that. What's your background that made you fight instead of flight?
For sure. And let me tell you, it is so weird to hear you on the radio and not be able to answer you. I'm like writing notes, like, oh, let's talk about this later.
Yeah.
Okay, a little bit about me. So I am a mom of 3. I have a 24-year-old. I have a 12-year-old. I have a 10-year-old.
Wow.
I absolutely adore my children. I was a single mom for a while. I know what it's like to not be able to rely on somebody and have to get everything done and stand up for my child, and just be very involved. A little rewind would be that, I didn't get along with my parents, and I went to boarding school from 14 to 18. I went to the notorious Elan in Maine, and that school was finally shut down. I believe it was in the early 2000s for just every abuse that you could think of.
Yeah.
Physical, emotional, sexual. They were basically stealing, $50,000 a year from the state or parents or both, and definitely not spending that on the school. Wow. And then while, all this brainwashing and abuse was happening. And so I didn't have anybody to stand up for me. I didn't have anybody to, when you go to the school, you don't go home for Christmas. You don't go home for summers. You're there the whole time.
Wow.
So if I'm there from 94 to 98, I'm there 4 years. And, I remember thinking in the beginning, at some point, someone's going to come and get me. Someone's going to realize that this school is really bad and what they're doing to us is really bad. And then you realize, okay, nobody's coming to save us.
That's right.
Nobody's coming to save me. And I better figure out how to protect myself, until I can get out of this place. And so when I had my own kids, I was hyper aware of anybody who's around them, not trusting people right off the bat. And that's something that I think a lot of you parents feel bad because they're like, how did I not know that this was happening in schools, right? How did I not know that they were telling my kids this or treating them this way? It's because we were raised to think that school was a safe space, that teachers are good, that they only have their best interests at heart.
Instinctively. Instinctively,
right,
we think that.
Instinctively, right. And a lot of them do. They really do. I have so many teachers that are members that just want to turn schools back to the reason why they got in.
Right.
And they're fed up with everything, right? So, I didn't notice it, honestly, too much with my, I was lucky to work part-time and really be involved with my kids and, sent them to the best preschool. And then, it became time for public school. And again, I had that way of thinking, even though I experienced this in boarding school, I thought, well, public school has to be okay, right?
Yeah.
The state watches what they do. There's all these people that are on top of them and supervising. And so I instinctively thought oh, this should be good. And with my first daughter, I didn't notice anything too huge. It wasn't until I want to say she was in 11th grade. So yeah, so it was, I would say about 2011.
Oh, wow.
And yes. And there were some comments just kind of off the wall comments that they would make about her, how she dressed in school. Right. And all these things. So I was like, why is how she's dressed, which by the way, I look at my daughter when she leaves and she's very appropriate. I always teach the kids always dress with respect for yourself and be appropriate. I'm like, I wouldn't have let her out the door. And why are you showing her that what she's wearing is more important than her education? Get her back in class right now. And so, like, a little bit started to show through.
And this was coming from faculty, Alexandra?
Yes, the vice principal in the high school. Yep, it was just disgusting. In fact, I'm going to say I was very proud of the kids because that year they actually told the kids that they would pick on the girls that had curves. And if you were, like, skinny as a rail, you wouldn't get picked on. So if you had leggings on and were curvy, you had to wear – yeah, I'm not kidding. I mean, it's crazy. You had to wear a long shirt. Yes. You had to wear a long shirt. But if you were, like, skinny, you could have, like, a crop top on with your like – it was insane. So I will say these kids were awesome. The next day, because they were getting sent home, these girls, all the kids in the high school showed up, the boys too, in crop tops and black skinny leggings.
Wow.
And they were like, what are you going to do, throw us all out?
Wow.
Like, it was really good. Yeah, so they stuck together. But it wasn't really until COVID that I really noticed the big stuff. So I started my Moms for Liberty chapter in March or April, I can't remember which month, of 2021.
Okay.
Because I needed help. So when COVID happened and they were masking, we didn't go along with that nonsense. We're like, we don't believe this. This is BS. We're not going along with this. When schools went back in and they masked the kids, I homeschooled. I said, you're not masking these beautiful faces. Absolutely not. But then they kind of were like, well, we'd like to go in and see our friends. So in New Jersey, we have Governor Murphy, and he did this executive order.
Yep.
And I looked through the executive order, and I found 2 loopholes for my kids. My son was born deaf, and then he hears now, but he had speech and hearing issues. And so he shouldn't have to wear a mask. They a lot of times read lips.
Right.
That's like, right. And then my daughter had an IEP. So I wrote this whole letter, and I sent it to the principal. And I'll tell you what, we have a great elementary school. My principal is phenomenal. And he was like, Alex, this is great, but the superintendent's saying no. And that's what pissed me off because I said, hold on a second. These are my kids. Right? And then I got pissed off at myself because I realized I didn't know how the Board of Ed worked. I didn't know all the politics that took place in school. I didn't know my own parental rights. And that really, I felt sort of like not in control, right? And I'm like, no.
Yeah.
These are my kids, absolutely not.
And if I may interject, because by the way, I'm loving every part of the story. This is the least I've ever talked during an interview. But you have such look. It's very, very compelling. That's why I'm kind of stuck. But it's so funny because earlier in the show I had talked about being bullied, by my stepdad as a kid, which again forged me sort of going after bullies. That's kind of the framework of this show. But now listening to you about how you stuck up for your kids, like you didn't realize what your parental rights were. This is taking you right back to boarding school. You didn't know, nobody was coming for you, no one showed up, and your kids needed somebody to show up for them. You weren't going to abandon them like you were abandoned. You had to show up. You were forced into doing this because of old trauma.
Correct. It's definitely there. Somebody had shared with me once a quote, and it said something like, the biggest power move is becoming the parent that would have, oh God, how did it go? Save you as a child.
Yeah.
Something like that. And I was like, wow, that's really powerful. And it totally resonates.
Yeah.
I mean, I was bullied too when I was a kid. And, I teach my kids, always be kind, treat everybody the same way. Like, we're all human. Even if you don't have to be best friends with someone, but you should always show everybody respect, right? Always be kind to them. You don't know what kind of day they're having. You don't know what happened to them today. Like, just be kind with them. And unfortunately, we're really seeing a lot of bullying. I think it's getting worse, with the social media and stuff.
Yeah, that's the primary place where it's happening. And I will admit, there is social media has become sort of a problem for a lot of kids growing up. Sort of living by the standard of cool in social media has really affected kids in a very, detrimental way. And I'm with you on that one. I got to ask you this because I've only got a little bit of time, and I could talk to you all day. I love. By the way, thank you so much for doing this.
Fun. Today was fun.
Thank you. So do you or do other members of Moms for Liberty, because I'm being asked in the chat room and other places, do you guys tour around the country talking to parents to help them start their own chapters of Moms for Liberty or how does one start one with the office, or did they go online? How do they contact you folks to start their own chapter to become sort of the change agents that you have?
For sure. Okay, well, they're going to do exactly what I did. So you're going to go to momsforliberty.org. Make sure it's .org. I believe they have some fake ones out there.
Right.
So momsforliberty.org. And you're going to hit, there's a button that says chapter. And when you hit it, it'll say find my chapter or start a chapter.
Oh.
So if you hit find, it'll show you, again, in Connecticut, you have Litchfield, Hartford, and Fairfield listed. If you are a surrounding county, pick the one that's closest to you, and there'll either be a cell phone, email, or both. And just call them or email them and say, hey, listen, I'm in this county, or I am in your county, and I want to join, or I need help, or I'd like to start one, something like that. That's the best way to do it. Reach out to me too. I do travel. Typically, I would say we do stay within our counties or our state, but some of us are, kind of go everywhere.
Right.
And I've spoken pretty much, I feel like, everywhere. So I'm more than willing to come anywhere. In fact, I used to actually live, when I was a single mom, I lived in Sandy Hook for almost 2 years.
Oh, wow. Okay, so you know the area.
I do know the area. I'm very familiar. I used to work in Westchester, commuting. So, I'm very used to the area. Absolutely beautiful area. I'm more than willing, if anybody wants me to come out and speak to a group of parents, if they want to start a chapter, I'll come and teach you how to do it. I will help you in any way that you can. Something that I wanted to point out in the meantime
Yes,
as
ma'am.
well is that has school started by you already?
Yeah, already. Yep.
Okay. Us too, yesterday. So you don't have to put your children in anything that they feel uncomfortable in. You don't have to send them to school if you don't want to. You don't have to, if you're not comfortable vaccinating, reach out, please. We'll help you with an exemption. If you don't feel comfortable with them learning sex terms in 3rd grade, or even worse in 5th grade, I don't know what kind of listeners are on here, so I'll watch my language.
No, it's okay.
Okay.
Be careful. Just be careful. It's a family show.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I'm gonna just leave it there.
Right.
But in 5th grade, it's so inappropriate. There are opt-out forms.
Okay.
There are, and I can help you with it. If you go to momsforliberty.org, you'll find the opt-out forms on there. However, I do know state by state there are some different, policies and laws. A great organization is ctfamily.org.
Okay.
And they have the state-specific opt-out forms and information.
ctfamily.org?
Yeah, CT, like Connecticut, ctfamily.org.
Okay.
And they have, when I tell you, they are so informative, and they have all the forms that you need as well. So our forms are great, but they are more of a blanket national opt-out form.
Sure.
And again, some states like Connecticut, New York, New Jersey, California, where they're really like to
Real pushing it. Really pushing it.
Government overreach. There may be extra laws. So that's a really great one for you guys.
Well, Alexandra Bauer, I want to say thank you so much. You are always invited back. You have our telephone number. I've got your email. I will reach out to you and make sure that you and I keep in touch. Where are you? You do a hit on Newsmax. Are you there regularly, or do you have a regular spot there?
Yeah, so I'm a guest host, I guess you could say, on Wise Guys on Newsmax. It's Saturday at 9 p.m.
Okay.
And then I am a guest, commentary host as well for both Newsmax and Fox.
Okay.
A lot of times they have, 11 p.m. Fox night with Trace Gallagher.
Okay, that's right. I know you do Trace Gallagher a lot. Yes.
Yeah, he's awesome. Honestly, they are all awesome. They are the nicest people to work with. And when we need something to get out there, we give them a call, and they're awesome. Like, yep, where do you need us? What time? Or, yep, come into the studio. We'll give you the time. And so they're really wonderful.
I got to ask you a favor. Well, I'll ask it off, but I got to tell you. First of all, there are two guys that I love, and that is William Longinus and Trace Gallagher. I'm a big fan of his. So I
Okay.
need you to kind of slip me in, like where I can sort of holler at him, because I love his reporting. He is
Okay.
absolutely top notch. But we'll talk about that later.
Okay, we will do that. Oh, and I did hear your question from earlier.
Yes.
And we do have members from all races, all backgrounds, all diversities. They like to pretend that we don't, but we do. So
I know
we
you do.
welcome everybody.
I know you do. That's why I want to do it in Hartford with black and brown communities, because trust me when I tell you, a lot of them don't even know that you folks are around or what's happening in school. You got it. Thank you.
You tell me when.
You got it. Alexandra
All right.
Bowers, ladies and gentlemen, thank you again, Alexandra. We got to go to weather and traffic. Let's get to it with Bob Larson and Mark Christopher in the BPS Traffic Center. Hey, Mark.
All right, Reese, thank you very much. Well, if you're heading into Hartford, southbound 91, look for delays by 35 in Windsor. Again, 33 down to 32 A and B. A brief slowdown down by exit 28. Northbound 91, good ride. Cromwell up into Windsor now. If you're traveling in the westbound side of 84, you got delays approaching the Bulkley Bridge out to 45 Flatbush, 84 eastbound slowing. About a half mile before 46 Sisson Avenue into the tunnel. 2 westbound tight in East Hartford, 1D up to the 84 west merge. 9 northbound Middletown slowing Harbor Park to the Aragoni Bridge. 9 southbound slowing Cromwell on the Cromwell-Middletown line down to the Aragoni. 9 northbound, some slow traffic 32 to 34 in New Britain. If you're traveling into Waterbury, slowing by 18. Again, some slow traffic down by the 691 interchange. Westbound 84 in Waterbury is tight 26 up to exit 25. And if you're heading down in toward New Haven, southbound Parkway delays 61 to 60. South 95 is slowing from 46 to 43 in West Haven. Traffic and weather together on the 8's WTIC News Talk 1080.
WTIC weather.
This weather continues, though we could stand to use some rain. There has not been substantial rainfall for quite some time now. We do have some showers in the forecast before much longer, but no rain today. Sunshine, patchy clouds, high 79. Partly cloudy tonight, cool overnight, low 52. Mostly sunny tomorrow, breezy tomorrow afternoon, high 78. Becoming cloudy tomorrow night, and as the front approaches the area, be a couple of showers around late at night, maybe a rumble of thunder, low 63. Warm, humid weather on Friday with partial sun. There could be a stray shower, high 84 degrees. Very warm and humid as we start the weekend Saturday. Clouds, some sunshine, but also a couple of afternoon showers and thunderstorms as another cold front moves in. Any thunderstorm can bring hail and damaging winds, high Saturday 86. Following that front, cooler and less humid on Sunday, a mixture of clouds and sunshine. With high temperature 75 degrees and pleasant weather at the start of next week. We'll see sunny Monday, high 74. I'm Bob Larson of the WTIC Weather Center.
WTIC is celebrating 100 years on the air and 100 years of serving Connecticut. This is WTIC and WTIC FM HD2 Hartford and Odyssey Station.
5 o'clock, 78 degrees in Hartford. I'm John Silva. WTIC 1080 News. As required by state law, Connecticut's minimum wage will go up again. It will be $16.94 an hour effective New Year's Day. That's up almost 60 cents from this year. The number is set each year by economic indicators. Governor Lamont says it is one of a number of good things for workers around the state. The rate is the second highest in the nation behind Washington State. Federal minimum wage remains at $7.25 an hour, where it has been since 2009. Mixed bag when it comes to the Connecticut economy from business leaders. They gathered today for the release of the annual survey by the Connecticut Business and Industry Association. President and CEO Chris DiBentimos spells out one major concern among business owners.
With more than 3/4 of businesses reporting ongoing difficulties attracting and retaining talent. Connecticut has 77,000 job openings.
He also says the survey found respondents giving a thumbs down on state lawmakers raising business taxes by $350 million and weakening Connecticut's fiscal guardrails. Tragedy in Portugal, where officials say a landmark streetcar in Lisbon derailed, killing 15, injuring 28. 5 of the injuries reported serious, with a child among them.
The whole country is transfixed by it at the moment, and the mayor very quick to obviously cancel all his engagements and to come here and to express that those express the urgency, the need to find out what happened and to make sure it doesn't happen again.
That's the BBC's Alison Roberts. Suspect who allegedly gunned down an 11-year-old boy for playing a prank by ringing his doorbell and running away. It's being held on $1 million bond.
He claims that the suspect was hiding in his backyard, watching the boys as they were knocking on his door, playing ding-dong ditch a few times. And then he says that suspect chased the boys a block away from his home, and that's where he shot them.
Reporter Karen Hua reporting. President Trump has named additional cities where he thinks the National Guard could help quell crime. This, as plans are underway to extend the Guard's deployment to the nation's capital. Torian Small has that.
Illinois Senator Dick Durbin says the president is playing politics.
He's ignoring states with Republican leadership where crime is even worse. Texas, Tennessee, Arkansas. I mean, I go through the long list of them.
Congress is now working on legislation that would extend the president's order federalizing the D.C. police force through the end of the year.
In his upcoming book, UConn men's basketball coach Dan Hurley admits he considered leaving the school last spring. There's WTIC's Dave Mager.
UConn fans keep getting reminders the two-time national champ won't be in stores forever. Last year, he famously turned down a deal with the LA Lakers. Then, as first reported by The Athletic, he again considered stepping down this year after the Huskies' 13-game NCAA tournament winning streak ended. In the new book, written with reporter Ian O'Connor, Hurley says he felt like he was completely cooked. But on further review, he says he cherishes the job, even though it takes a, quote, massive toll. The book, Never Stop, Life, Leadership, and What It Takes to Be Great, will be published September 30th. Dave Maker, WTIC 1080 News.
Wall Street, the Dow down 24, NASDAQ up 218, S&P up 32 points. I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News.
How did you get your tripping breaker?
1 minute.
ALO Home Services, same day electrical. I gave them a call and they had a technician on their way. They even sent the technician's real-time location so I knew when they would be here.
Did you say same day? That's crazy.
If you need same-day electrical, call, click, or text today and say hello, ALO. Call for details. License number HIC 628926, P10277688, S10413487, D10401465, S3308699, SM3004646, E1185643.
Do you have $10,000 or more in credit card debt? Are you barely getting by making minimum payments? With credit card debt reaching all-time highs, National Debt Relief is letting everyone know about great debt relief options now available to help people with overwhelming credit card debt. These options may reduce a large portion of your credit card debt. Get a free debt relief consultation when you call 800-586-4040. 800-586-4040.
Here we go.
800-586-4040.
The hour that packs a punch. It's Reese on the Radio on WTIC News Talk 1080.
Hey, it's Hollywood News with your correspondent, Reese on the Radio. All the glitz, all the glamour. It's Hollywood News. I don't know why I do that every time, but I love doing it every time. This one is a little indifferent. I'm a little indifferent about this. I don't even know how to respond to this story because all I ever talk about are sequels and sequels and sequels and how bad they are. But one sequel came out a couple of years ago after the pandemic or just after the pandemic. You guys might remember it. And this movie coming out, even Steven Spielberg told the actor who stars in this film that he saved cinema. And that actor was none other than Tom Cruise. What movie was he talking about that saved America or saved the movie industry? Top Gun Maverick. And those of you who saw it, you enjoyed it. I did. I thought it was great. So imagine my surprise when I heard that they're going to go down that well again. After waiting 30 years to come up with Top Gun Maverick, they had all the time in the world, never did it for 30 years, does it. It's a bang-up success. It looks like they're going to do Top Gun 3. Paramount Pictures has officially teamed up. Sorry, that was wrong. I apologize. That's yesterday's news. Yes. So according to reports, Tom Cruise and Miles Teller, who I like as an actor. I really do like Miles Teller. They're coming back to do another Top Gun. It's called Top Gun 3, tentatively. But he, Miles Teller, and there's word that Jennifer Connelly may come back. Always had a crush on her. May be coming back for the third installment. I don't know why. It isn't necessary. Tom Cruise just finished the last Mission Impossible, which I have to say, garbaggio. It was. It was really, really bad. Did you see that, Rutland, by any chance, the last Mission Impossible?
I'm going to watch it because I have no choice.
Are you going to watch it at home?
Yeah, I might watch it at home.
Okay, yeah. At least you don't have to go out to the theaters. Yes, it was straight garbaggio, as we say in Italy. So yes, Top Gun 3. I'm assuming you saw the Top Gun Maverick, right? Did you enjoy that? I know you saw that one.
Yeah.
You saw that one. So yeah. So would you see a Top Gun 3?
Absolutely.
Really?
The first Top Gun made me love
aviation.
R&B was not R&B, rock ballads, love ballads.
Oh, really? It must have been Love. Is that the song that you like? Is that what that's what that's from, right? Was it that one?
No, it wasn't. It must have been Love.
What was the name of it?
It was the other song.
There was another song. I thought it must have been Love. Maybe I'm wrong. I can't remember which one it was. But yeah, I do remember there's a
Mark Christopher probably knows.
Yeah, Mark Christopher would know. What's it? Mark Christopher was in a BPS traffic center.
Yeah, there you
is.
go. There you
Take
go.
My Breath Away.
Take My Breath Away.
By
Yeah.
Berlin. Was it Berlin?
That's right, Berlin.
By Berlin. There you go.
Yep.
That made me, from the moment I was a kid and I saw this movie and that song came on, I started loving rock ballads.
Rock, yeah, you probably like Heart after this, too.
Yeah.
What about Love?
Yeah. All right, well, I'll admit.
These Dreams?
Yeah, These Dreams. Yeah, another great song. But would you see a Top Gun 3 Mark Christopher in a BPS traffic center?
Why not? Absolutely.
Did you see Maverick?
Yes.
You did go see Maverick.
Yes, I did. Yep.
Hey, we got one, ladies.
I saw a movie.
We got
I saw
one.
a movie.
Thank you, Mark. Finally.
You're very welcome. Hey, if you're heading into Hartford right now, westbound side of 84 delays approaching the Bulkley Bridge out to 45 Flatbush Avenue, 84 eastbound slowing a mile before 46th Avenue to the Bulkley, southbound 91 delays 33 down to 32 A and B, and again down by exit 28. You're going to see some slow traffic northbound in the Wilbur Cross Parkway as you move up by exit 68 and a crash there in the construction area. 9 northbound slowing Harbor Park up to the Aragoni Bridge. 84 eastbound Waterbury slowing by exit 18. Westbound side of 84 sluggish and stop and go from the 691 interchange up to exit 25 in Waterbury. Southbound Parkway slow traffic 60 down into the West Rock Tunnel. 95 southbound delays 46 down to 43 in West Haven. Traffic and weather together on the 8th WTIC News Talk 1080.
WTIC weather.
Partly cloudy tonight after a pleasant evening. It'll become cool once again overnight. Low 52, and pleasant weather will continue tomorrow. A good deal of sunshine, becoming somewhat breezy tomorrow afternoon. High 78. It'll turn cloudy tomorrow night with a couple of showers later tonight. We could use some rain. Low tomorrow night 63. Humid weather on Friday. A mix of clouds and sun, just a chance of a shower. High 84. It will stay warm and humid on Saturday. Clouds and occasional sunshine, but a pretty good chance for some thunderstorms Saturday afternoon and evening. Those storms could be heavy before the storms arrive. A high up to 86 Saturday afternoon. It's now 77 in Newington. It's 74 degrees in Farmington and 77 in Hartford. I'm meteorologist Bob Larson of the WTIC Weather Center.
It's summertime. If you're between the ages of 17 and 25, now's the time to check your wisdom teeth. Impacted wisdom teeth can cause a lot of unnecessary pain, so let Columbia Dental remove them sooner than later. Call 860-645-0111.
Viking, dedicated to creating travel experiences for the thinking person, with programs designed for cultural enrichment on board and on shore. Discover more at Viking.com. That's Viking.com. Viking.com.
Join us this Sunday for Tumalo Financial, your go-to for retirement planning and taxes. Tune in to the father-son duo from 7 a.m. to 8 a.m. or catch replay from 5 to 6 p.m. Tumalo Financial, retirement planning with integrity on WTIC News Talk 1080.
Brian Jackman here for Brian and Company on WTIC News Talk 1080. Hope you're having a great week. We're going to turn the corner into Thursday with return, the vaunted, the daunting football picks with Mark Christopher, myself, Matt Soroyes, and the enemies of 96.5 TIC FM. I won't even name them. It's going to be a lot of fun. Actually, it was so good we had to split it into 2 segments. All your news, weather, and traffic as well. It's Brian and Company. We start at 5:30. We take you all the way to 9 o'clock right here on WTIC News Talk 1080.
Men, the summer is here. Longer days, warmer nights, and romance is in the air. Intimate dinners, walks on the beach, dancing in the moonlight. But if you have erectile dysfunction, you know it can ruin romance, both for you and the one you love. This is Dale for Northeast Men's Health. And if you have ED, don't let another summer go by without getting treated, because intimacy is one of the greatest things in life. And fear of not being able to perform should not be something you have to deal with. At Northeast Men's Health, we're ED experts. We've successfully treated tens of thousands of men. Our protocols work when others don't, and we have treatments that are effective in well over 90% of cases. You could even last up to an hour or more and perform like you haven't in years. So call us. Your initial appointment is only $99 and includes blood work, a medical consult, and if medically advised, a test dose. And if that test dose doesn't work in the office, your visit is free. Call 800-930-5956. That's 800-930-5956. Or go to northeastmenshealth.com. We have 6 offices across the Northeast to serve you, including our new office in Warwick, Rhode Island.
You hear that?
1 minute.
Your business losing money.
Got
Legacy phone systems weren't built for today's teams. OpenPhone gives your business a smarter way to stay connected. OpenPhone lets you manage calls, texts, voicemail, and contacts all in one place so that you and your team can deliver a seamless customer experience from ring to... Need to take calls on the go? OpenPhone automatically transcribes, summarizes, and highlights next steps from every call, so you never miss a detail. Need insight into what closes a sale? With OpenPhone's AI call tags, you can instantly spot key topics like objections or pricing questions, and use those insights to coach your team and level up every customer interaction. And yes, you can bring your existing number with you for free. Keep your team in sync and your customers happy with OpenPhone. OpenPhone. No missed calls, no missed... Try
Got it.
OpenPhone for free at openphone.com/try and get 20% off your first 6 months. That's openphone.com/try. Openphone.com/TRY.
Oh, hold still. This is only going to hurt a little. It's Reese on the radio on News Talk 1080 WTIC.
Hey, we are back. The truth always hurts, folks. We got to talk about this, but I'm going to get these 2 calls out of the way real quick. Okay? Sorry, that sounds so dismissive. Forgive me, guys. I want to get to these calls real quick. And then I want to talk about this Epstein thing that, weirdly enough, a lot of people are backing away from. And I'll explain that in a quick second. Let's first get to the phone. Steve's in Waterbury. How are you, Stevie V?
I'm doing good. Hey, coffee's on me if I win Powerball.
No doubt. At least I get a coffee.
Yeah, I'll get Roseanne dozen bagels a month for a year or 2. But, I used to know John Fusco. He wrote Young Guns in a bunch of movies. And whatnot. Yeah. Last time I seen him was at a wedding, and his movie Crossroads had come out. It was before Young Guns, but he was asked by the studio to write a movie similar to Top Gun because it was so hot. But,
really?
That being said, I think it was a studio. Anyway, it's so many years ago. I want to talk about Matt Lesser and illegal immigrants real quick.
Yeah.
You can't say that Matt Lesser does not know the host of a 50,000-watt flamethrower being in politics. He's either being dishonest or he got his head in the sand. I mean, this is crazy.
I think he's just following, again, most of these guys are like short order cooks. You know what I mean? They repeat the same nonsense that they're supposed to, make it this way, and say the same line over and over again. Nothing is original that comes out of their mouth. You can find it from 100 other politicians who agree with them politically. I don't think that this guy's got any fire in his belly, which is why, I was stunned that he would even so much as, make that response that he did.
Yeah, I don't know if it's a short order cook, but he's doing something.
Stevie, you're breaking up. You're breaking up.
No kidding. Hang on. Can you hear me still?
Yes, sir. I can. Real quick.
Okay. So with the illegal immigrants, there'll be more housing, more food. We're not going to have to subsidize them. So if we have to get a tax, that's the way I see it anyways.
Yeah, but I'm not. You know what? Unfortunately for him, I think he started a fire he can't put out, but we'll see what to do. Thank you, boss man. Let's go to Dave in Brantford. Hello, sir.
Yeah, how you doing, Reese? A little quick bookkeeping. I want to get to attendance in the school for the third topic. I never really got a straight story on why the switch from Daiquat to Aquathol. I never really was a good story. I don't disapprove of the change, but nobody explained who made the choice.
Yeah, exactly.
You know,
Which
should,
we look to see whether or not there was any local government involvement in that. But from what we learned, that was directly from the Army Corps of Engineers.
Yeah, and I think it's a better choice. There's no chlorine or halogens in the Aquathol.
Gotcha.
Androsol is what it is. Formulated for water application, and it's basically, maybe I overstated, it's basically souped up hydrogen peroxide, and so it doesn't leave it. There's 5 oxygen molecules in a somewhat, not too complicated organic molecule, but it dissipates. That's a good thing. The other thing, did you read the Fred McKinney editorial in the Saturday New Haven Register?
I did not.
He had a lament about reparations, and it was, Mr. President, send me to Africa or send me money.
No!
And, he takes it very personally. He uses expressions like the theft of unpaid wages owed to me. And,
wait. I need his name again. Hold on. What's his name?
Fred McKinney.
Fred
on McKinney.
I got you.
Page A11 on Saturday's New Haven Register.
Okay.
And to expand it a little bit, the house organs that write the editorials, Susan Campbell, who is a lecturer at UNH, and this Fred McKinney apparently is a lecturer at Quinnipiac University. Apparently, all the propagandists.
Fred McKinney. Wait, you want to laugh? Sorry, let me go backwards. Here's an opinion piece by Fred McKinney. This one will make everybody laugh. Fred McKinney writes, "Here's why Bidenomics worked."
I guess that one was last year, huh? Yeah, he's a little bit off the charts. I don't mind that he gets his opinion out, but there's never any, countervailing balance.
I got
And the
you.
last point is, 30 years ago, when my kids were in elementary school, it was front page news in the Hartford Courant and the Register comparing the first day attendance of the big city schools and the suburban schools.
Yes.
And all the suburban schools would rack up like a 98.4% attendance figure on the first day, and the cities would run about 75 to 78% attendance, and they'd have excuses from the parents. Nothing really happens on the first day anyway.
Yeah.
And you know what? If you're fastidious about attendance, it's like putting shoes on your kid when the starting gun goes off in a race.
That's right.
You got to do better than that. As Woody Allen said, 90% of life is just showing up.
That's
the
right.
City kids voluntarily screw their future by just ignoring the opportunity given to them. And I thank you for giving me the opportunity.
Always a pleasure, Dave. Always a pleasure. Thank you, sir. Now, I got to get to this thing. And I thank you, both gentlemen, for staying on hold as long as they did. So let's get to this, okay? NBC News, which is still MSNBC, at least in this particular clip, asked the Epstein victims outright about Donald Trump's involvement. It went like this.
We are not asking for pity.
Wrong. My bad. Here it is.
I do have to ask, and I know, and it's just something that I think we're compelled to at this moment, with the attention on President Trump, with these questions around a pardon. Did anybody see or hear of the... I do have to ask, and I know, and it's just something that I think we're compelled to at this moment, with the attention on President Trump, with these questions around a pardon. Did anybody see or hear of the president himself doing anything inappropriate as it related to Jeffrey Epstein?
No, they asked the victims. Who was the guy who said, why isn't anyone talking to the victims? Why isn't anyone having a conversation with the victims? Now they are. Now they have the opportunity to ask. And what did they say? No. And then something else happened that I thought was weird. Because you all, and you know who you are, have been asking for the Epstein list to be revealed. And what did yours truly say? Why don't we ask the victims? They can release them. They were the ones who were abused. No one's even asked them. Who is on the list? Right? It's appropriate. You don't need Epstein to provide it for you. We don't need anybody going back and forth and saying, well, he put them on the list, but is he truly ask the people? They were all there in Washington today. One of them spoke, and they'd said something a little peculiar.
We are not asking for pity. We are here demanding accountability, and I'm demanding justice.
I agree with her 100%. They should get justice.
Congress must choose. Will you continue to protect predators, or will you finally protect survivors?
It is not up to Congress. Congress is not the person. That is a dog whistle. That is a, I don't know, that is a misdirection. Congress is not holding on to the information about Jeffrey Epstein. Those women standing right there are the ones who were victimized. They are alive. They can all speak up for themselves. And guess what? It is so important to note this. Washington is crawling with lawyers, people who can defend those women. If indeed one of the people who they wish to name were to ever sue them, every one of those lawyers can go pro bono and destroy the lives of those people who did that. But no one has. Weird. Okay. Let's listen.
And also, I would like to announce here today, us Epstein survivors have been discussing creating our own list.
Okay. Now we're getting somewhere. Let's get the list on the record. You don't need Congress. You don't need President Trump. Nobody's keeping you. No one's got a gag order on you. There's no NDA. No courts have suggested you have to be quiet. They're making a list. Okay? What else?
We know the names. Many of us were abused by them. Now, together as survivors, we will confidentially compile the names we all know.
Okay.
Who were regularly in the Epstein world. And it will be done by survivors and for survivors.
Okay.
No one else is involved.
What?
Stay tuned for more details.
Okay, so they're compiling a list just for themselves? Again, I don't know what. Again, I'm not one of these people who say that I don't believe them. I'm not of that ilk. I'm just listening to their words. Don't put it on me. Don't put it on me. I'm just listening to these people talk. They say what they say. Here's one of the attorneys at said event.
Thank you all for being here. I'll go first and then I'll let them. They're much more important than me, but I don't understand why it's a hostile act. I can tell you that I talked to President Trump back in 2009, and several times after that, he didn't think that it was a hoax then. In fact, he helped me. He got on the phone. He told me things that were helping our investigation. Now, our investigation wasn't looking into him, but he was helping us then. He didn't treat this as a hoax. So at this point in time, I would hope that he would revert back to what he was saying to get elected, which is, I want transparency. This about face that occurred, none of us understand it. In fact, I don't understand how this is an issue that's even up for debate. How do you not stand behind these women after you've heard their stories and know that hundreds of them were abused, and it was only because files are being kept in secrecy? The world should know who he is, who protected him, and the other.
Okay, but again, not understanding it. They're openly admitting that Donald Trump was assisting them in 2009. A point I made on this show that was poo-pooed and dismissed, by the way. They're on NBC saying Donald Trump didn't do anything. So again, narrative busted, over. But then something else happened that, again, doesn't seem to make sense because there are reporters now going, what?
Sure, how we're going to release that, or even if we're going to, the Department of Justice needs to release the list. Right. Yes.
For folks at home, they might be confused. Survivors know the names. You've seen these powerful people. Why can't you say the names?
Did you hear her? People, all these women are standing up here. Why can't you say the names? You don't need Congress. You don't need Trump. You don't need anybody.
Could you just
Why do we
explain
have
for
to?
folks?
Why do we have to say their names when the government knows the names? And we're also scared to do so. Look what's happened to so many of the survivors that have revealed names.
Yeah, I find the question about the bill.
I think it's also worth saying that having represented, I think, between our firm and Boyce Schiller, hundreds of victims, and we've talked to them about the various people that they were farmed out to. So we've created somewhat of a list. Most of these individuals, the victims, are very scared to say these names because they could get sued, they're going to get attacked, and nobody protected them the first time. And that was against one person.
Now, because we have to take a break, I'm going to play the other half of this for you. Still, the press is sitting out there screaming, going, but wait a minute. The place is crawling with attorneys. The guy who's standing there talking is an attorney. No one is stepping up to protect them legally. They're worried about being sued. Maybe I'm bugging. I don't know. You tell me. I'm trying to figure this out. Let's get another check of traffic and weather. Bob Larson, Mark Christopher is in the BPS Traffic Center. Hey, Mark.
All right, Reese, thank you very much. Well, if you're heading toward Hartford right now, westbound 84, you got delays east Hartford approaching the Bulkley Bridge out to 47 Sigourney, 84 eastbound delays. Half mile before 46th Avenue into the tunnel. A little slow again out by the 384 interchange in Manchester. Southbound 91 slows by 35, again 33 down to 32 A and B in Hartford. More slow traffic, 27 down to 28 on the Hartford Weathersfield line. Northbound on the Parkway, right at the end of the Parkway, we have an accident at exit 65. So the exit 65 off-ramp, the take it is 691 westbound is shut down right now because of that accident. Both sides of 9 heavy approaching the Irrigotti Bridge in Middletown. 9 northbound delays 32 in Berlin up to 34 in New Britain. 84 eastbound Waterbury slowing by 18. Westbound 84 some tight traffic. 26 in Cheshire up to the Mixmaster. And southbound Parkway you're slowing 61 into the West Rock Tunnel. Traffic and weather together on the 8th WTIC News Talk 1080.
WTIC weather.
This weather continues, though we could stand to use some rain. There's not been substantial rainfall for quite some time now. We do have some showers in the forecast before much longer, but no rain today. Sunshine, patchy clouds, high 79. Partly cloudy tonight, cool overnight, low 52. Mostly sunny tomorrow, breezy tomorrow afternoon, high 78. Becoming cloudy tomorrow night, and as the front approaches the area, be a couple of showers around late at night, maybe a rumble of thunder, low 63. Warm, humid weather on Friday with partial sun. There could be a stray shower, high 84 degrees. Very warm and humid as we start the weekend. Saturday, clouds, some sunshine, but also a couple of afternoon showers and thunderstorms as another cold front moves in. Any thunderstorm can bring hail and damaging winds, high Saturday, 86. Following that front, cooler and less humid on Sunday, a mixture of clouds and sunshine. With high temperature 75 degrees and pleasant weather at the start of next week. We'll see sunny Monday, high 74. I'm Bob Larson of the WTIC Weather Center.
And now, a WTIC news update.
It's 5:30, Hartford temperature 77 degrees. Good afternoon, I'm John Silda, WTIC 1080 News. Major snafu in New Britain just days into the new school year. Reports of students being late or brought to the wrong school. One reportedly wound up in Danbury, an hour away. Superintendent called the mistakes unacceptable. First student has offered apologies. 2 people in the hospital following a Tuesday night shooting in Hartford. Both men arrived at Hartford Hospital just as police were checking out a ShotSpotter notification on Battles Street. Man in his 50s, another in his 70s, both treated. Mixed bag on the Connecticut economy from the Connecticut Business and Industry Association. CBIA released its annual survey today. Among the items, 3/4 of the respondents, businesses reporting challenges in hiring. Survey also showed companies focusing on innovation in navigating local, federal, and global challenges. Minimum wage about to go up per state law beginning January 1st. It's $16.94 an hour. That's an increase of about 60 cents from where it is now, and higher than the $7.25 federal wage. That has not changed since 2009. Jeffrey Epstein accusers in D.C. on Capitol Hill today. They joined lawmakers, both Democrats and Republicans, in calling for the Justice Department to release all of the Epstein files. Wall Street, the Dow down 24, NASDAQ gained 218 points, and the S&P was up 32 points. Red Sox and Cleveland on TIC tonight, pregame immediately following the 6 p.m. news. Yanks try to make it 2 straight in Houston against the Astros. The Mets fell to the Tigers in Detroit this afternoon, 6-2. Eastern League, Yard Goats finishing out their home portion of the 25 schedule, take on Reading, 7:10 on the Odyssey app. And in the WNBA, Connecticut Sun in Chicago to face the Sky. For these stories and more, go to WTIC.com. I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News.
Slow, clogged, backed up? Don't worry. ALO Home Services has you covered. For only $93, our technician will clear any drain in your home. And if it can't be cleared, it's free.
Call for details. License number HIC 628926, P10277688, S10413487, D10401465, S3308699. SM3004646, E1185643.
We were using a managed service provider, MSP.
That's Pete Sweeney, Director of Operations at United Tool and Die Company in West Hartford. His computer services MSP became so costly, there was nothing left for needed system upgrades. He called Tab Computer Systems.
What they included in their monthly cost per user, the services that they offered were right where we needed it to be.
Call Tab, an ASP, actual service provider, 1-888-TAB-4-HELP, or visit tabinc.com. Technologies advancing business. Tab Computer Systems.
You're listening to Leaf Filter Radio. With gutter protection himself, Chris Coonahan is here to take your most pressing leaf-related questions.
Hey, everybody. Chris here. I understand we have Ron on the line. Ron, where are you calling from?
Uh-oh. Ron, are you calling from a ladder?
Well, I was. I wanted to ask Chris what I need to do to get my gutters ready to have leaf filter installed.
Oh, Ron, you don't have to do anything. A Leaf Filter Trusted Pro will come out and clean out your gutters, realign and seal your gutters, and install Leaf Filter, America's #1 gutter protection system.
So I didn't need to get on this ladder?
Ron, Leaf Filter Trusted Pros are in your neighborhood and ready to help. Just visit leaffilter.com/deal to schedule your free gutter inspection and get up to 30% off.
Thank goodness. What was that site?
That's leaffilter.com/deal for your free gutter inspection today. See representative for warranty details. 20% off plus a 10% senior or military discount. One discount per household.
The Odyssey app lets you jump back to the moments you missed from WTIC News Talk 1080. Download the free Odyssey app, search WTIC News Talk 1080, and tap earlier today to get started.
You know what I forgot?
Savory, flavory, bagel, deli, and bakery. Between rounds, between rounds, between rounds.
I forgot to say congratulations to Priscilla D. in New Britain. She is our winner of the Between Rounds dozen bagels a month for 6 months, courtesy of Between Rounds, the Bagel Bakery and Sandwich Cafe, located in South Windsor, Vernon, and Manchester. If you would like an opportunity to win, you've got to go to reeseontheradio.com. That's REESE on the radio.com. You got to fill out the form. Make sure you leave your birth date and your telephone number. You must live in the state of Connecticut. You must not have won within the last 6 months, and you cannot be Roseanne on the radio in order to win. So she gets on my case all the time about whether I should. Every time we go there, she goes to get a bagel, and she's always asking for something like off the beaten path. It's like everything's got to have jalapenos with this woman. She loves the jalapenos. I don't understand how anybody does the jalapenos. I can't. It's like what's the purpose? I can't taste the thing because it takes it away. Like, what am I tasting? I'm still not getting it. I'm too simple. I'm vanilla. I'm just vanilla. I've come to terms with it. I just don't. It's a food thing, and I'll never understand. Boy, this Frank McKinley guy, Dave, thank you so much for telling me about him. I know you probably have before, and he was like out of sight, out of mind, but I am so glad you told me about this article. We've got to get him on the program. If we have to, without a doubt. He was so right. Fred McKinley's opinion, Mr. President, please send me to Africa with what you owe me. I feel like I should save it. Yes, that's right. It's Wednesday. I thought it was Tuesday. I totally forgot. I hadn't even been looking. And there it was, placed in my lap by Dave. You know what we got to make this, right? You know. Negro nonsense. Negro nonsense. Negro nonsense. Usually I'll surprise you, but not this time. This is it. I'm going to work all night tonight getting Fred McKinney on the show. I'm going to try my damnedest to get him on the show. To talk to him about this article. It's the best. I want to know where in Africa he wants to go. If he's got a particular spot planned out. People used to say they want to go to Johannesburg. No, it's a good place now. I'd love to know where he wants to go. Maybe it's in the article. Let's check it out during the break. While you get home with Weather and Traffic by Bob Larson and Mark Christopher, we'll check out the article. Mark Christopher's in the BPS Traffic Center. Hey, Mark.
Reese, thank you very much. Well, if you're heading into Hartford right now, southbound side of I-91, seeing delays from 33 down to 32 A and B, and again 27 down to 28. Northbound 91 moving very well now. Cromwell up into Windsor. Westbound 84 is tied up approaching the Bulkley Bridge. If you are traveling westbound, you're heavy approaching the Bulkley right out to 47 Sigourney. 84 eastbound is tied up 46 Sisson Avenue into the tunnel. 2 westbound slowing 1D up to the 84 West merge in East Hartford. 291 through 84 quiet heading toward Middletown. 9 northbound slowing Harbor Park to the Irrigoti Bridge. Again in Berlin from 32 up to 34 New Britain. Westbound 84 slows 26 in Cheshire up to 25. Again 22 to the Mixmaster. 84 eastbound slowing in Waterbury. 18 up to the Mixmaster. Southbound Parkway, you're looking at delays in Hamden from 61 down to 60. 95 South New Haven slows 46 down to 43 in West Haven. Traffic and weather together on the 8th. WTIC News Talk 1080.
WTIC weather.
Clear to partly cloudy tonight, a comfortable night, a low of 52, and nice weather coming up again tomorrow. Mostly sunny, breezy tomorrow afternoon, high 78, then becoming cloudy tomorrow evening, followed by a couple of showers later tomorrow night, low 63. More humid and warm on Friday, a mix of clouds and sun, can't rule out a shower, but most of Friday looks rain-free, a high of 84, looking at a warm, humid start to the weekend Saturday. Partial sunshine, pretty good chance for a couple of thunderstorms later Saturday and Saturday night. Any of these can be heavy. Saturday's high, 86. Right now it is 77 in Berlin. It's 74 degrees in Bristol. It's 77 in Hartford. I'm meteorologist Bob Larson of the WTIC Weather Center.
Join Mark Patrick Seminars Lose the Weight, Stop Smoking Early Bird Special, $49.99. Seminars Thursday, September 18th, Hilton Garden in Hartford North, Bradley International Airport, Windsor. Weight loss, 5:30 p.m. Stop Smoking Seminar, 8 p.m. Or Saturday, September 20th, Holiday Inn Express, Southington. Weight loss, 11 a.m. Stop Smoking Seminar, 2 p.m.
Hey, it's Eric Erickson, letting you know you can now hear me weekdays, noon till 2, right here on WTIC. Now you can listen live every day. I'll cut through the talking points and get straight to the truth. I'm going to give you my unfiltered take on politics, culture, and faith, and cover all the news as it happens. Join me weekdays, noon till 2. It's the Eric Erickson Show on WTIC News Talk 1080.
Coverage varies by plan. View contracts and exclusions at endurancewarranty.com. Auto repair bills are through the roof. $3,000 to replace the transmission. $4,000 for a blown engine. And if your manufacturer's warranty is expired, you'll have to cover it all out of pocket. You need an Endurance Auto Protection Plan. No matter what the mileage, if your car is under 20 years old, Endurance can get you covered on the engine, electrical system, transmission, AC, drivetrain, and more. Endurance has plans for any budget. Repairs can be done at the certified mechanic of your choice, and they're paid directly with no middleman. Plans cover 24/7 roadside assistance, towing, battery jumps, fuel deliveries, tire changes, lockout services, and a 30-day money-back guarantee. Act now and get our elite benefits, including complete tire care and key fob replacement. A $2,000 value at no extra cost. With Endurance, you could never pay for covered auto repairs again, so call now for your free quote. Call 800-253-6203. 800-253-6203. 800-253-6203.
If you want thick, healthy, gorgeous hair, then you need Hair Volume by New Nordic. Available as a tablet or delicious gummy. Hair Volume is available online at Amazon and NewNordicUSA.com or in the hair aisle at your local CVS.
I'm Ed Evans, CEO of Consumer Cellular. We're dedicated to serving people 50 and up. Our needs are different. Big Wireless wants us in an unlimited plan, but if you're not using all that data, you're probably getting used. At Consumer Cellular, we're focused on affordable, reliable plans, including data that suits your needs, not ours. Our plans start at just $20, and you'll get the best customer service in the business.
Call 1-888-FREEDOM, visit consumercellular.com/facts or a store near you. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing. See site for additional facts.
Are you having trouble hearing? Hearing loss can devastate the quality of your life. Now, there's an affordable fix for you or your loved one. Rated the best hearing aids of 2025 by Forbes Health, Audion Hearing has the highest quality hearing aids at the lowest prices, starting at just $98 a pair.
I actually like them better than my old $5,000 hearing.
I believe how my hearing and life changed.
Join over 1 million happy customers by going to audionhearing.com. That's AUDIEN hearing.com.
What's up, everybody? You know who it is.
You know who it is.
You know who it is. It's Reese on the Radio. Frederick Douglass of the 21st century.
It's WTIC News Talk 1080.
I feel like I should have been playing that Roots music. And in the background going, I found you, Fred McKinney. I found you. We will get him on the phone later on, see if we can get him. If we can't get him tonight, we'll work on getting him tomorrow on the program. I think he would be a perfect guest. By the way, if you were wondering what countries Fred McKinney wanted to go to, he's actually provided a list in his article. He says, while I would prefer Tanzania, Ghana, South Africa, Kenya, or Rwanda, Uganda will do. So he's got some locations. And he also wants to add $500,000 to be paid to him as well for him to go to one of those countries. So we'll see if we can get him on the phone. Hopefully he'll want to come on. We'll talk about his article here. It is quite interesting, the stuff that he wrote here. Not that I really doubt that he will. I expect him to. But I'll reach out and see if we can come on and have a little back and forth, talk about the President of the United States going after African Americans like Letitia James through no fault of their own, which should be interesting in and of itself. Let's go to Fulton. How are you, sir?
What's up, buddy? I don't know if you got the video I just sent you. It's a little bit off topic here, but I just sent you a video on that 212 number. There's an active shooter right now in UMass Lowell. My
I heard.
daughter is a freshman.
I did hear.
And,
I'm watching it closely.
So I sent you that video on that 212 number. It's the actual 911. The girl, my friend's daughter, is the actual call to 911. And
Wow.
you can watch the video of the guy walking with the gun. I sent it to you, so
Okay.
you'll see it there. But yeah, I guess the guy was in a gunfight with the police there. They watched that. There's a cop down, and that's all I know for now. But
Okay.
I don't know if you wanted to break that news or whatever. But yeah, that video is legit. And
All right, I'm literally going to look at it now, and of course, it's near the end of the show, so I'm probably not going to have a time to
No, I didn't think so, but I just want to let your new viewers know that there's something going on up in Massachusetts.
Yeah, I saw that they were talking about an active shooter, but the details were sort of slim to none. But I will check on that, and thank you for that. I appreciate the heads up.
Well, I appreciate you, buddy. Let everybody know what's going on. That's all.
You got it, sir. I always appreciate you got it. I always appreciate you guys for always giving me a heads up on these stories as they happen. When we're live, it is difficult because I'll be sitting here with the news media up, excuse me, and some of these stories will either be, they'll pop up on my screen or I've got to go search for them myself. And so I don't always get lucky. I just saw here, let me see. Emergency postal weapons incident at Riverview Suites. Emergency on campus. Lowell PD is looking for a 5'5" Asian male wearing gray and white sweatshirt and black shorts, carrying a long weapon, seen in the rear of Riverview Suites. If seen, contact UMass Lowell. And that is the report that has been out so far, and that was released by the school police. So that is the current report that's on there. Again, I'm still looking in other places to see if there's anything else that might be detailed in this story, but there's been no breaking news anywhere that I can see so far. I cannot believe I need to sneeze. But there I am, trying. Oh, darn it. I couldn't stop it. I hate that. I hate when I can't stop a sneeze. It's annoying. And I've been doing it all day, and I kept it for 4 hours under wraps and wait until it gets to the end where I can't hold it. There's a video of the guy going around on Facebook. Yes, Zach, I did. Let me do this. Let me see if I can actually. Fulton said he just sent it to me in a text. I will go to that right now and see if there's. Actually, nope, it didn't show up here. Let me see if I can refresh. I'll refresh, see if I can get anything else on it. Let's go to Mark in West Hartford. How are you, sir?
Hey, I'm doing good. Since you started the show talking about Matt Lesser,
yeah,
I think we should end up with him. And this is just one of the many things, examples, and subjects, if he ever does come out, is to ask him why he didn't assist me or do it on his own. You remember the twins that reported to the media, to our friend Matt Karen, Anya and Isaiah Garrett were twins at Cromwell High School, and claimed they were spit on and there was hate speech. It was a hate crime, basically.
Yeah, sure.
And I went out of my way. I put in a citizen complaint through an email to the chief. His name is Sifadaskalopoulos or something. And he refused to accept my citizen complaint. I reached out to the NAACP, who you've highlighted, that have disappeared. But more importantly, Matt Lesser. I asked him to assist me in getting the Cromwell Police Department to investigate the hate crime inside that high school, and he totally blew me off. The guy he's nonsense, and I'm glad he did what he did, because then maybe there'll be other stories like me. I know the people of Cromwell probably reached out to him. Again, I'm glad you brought up Newington. That's his district.
It
he
is.
hasn't said anything since the arrests.
Yeah.
And especially since the felons came. And now that we know the felonies are attached to those who were arrested.
Which, again, it's so interesting that it wasn't like these guys weren't out and about. Bob Larson, a day or two after his outburst in Newington, he's on the campaign trail with none other than Chris Murphy, who, again, an avid criticizer of the Trump administration. And there are no reports in that sort of little, walkthrough at the county, what was it, like some farmer's market? As they were walking.
Market. Yeah. I have zero moles in West Hartford. Not that I should say that. I got a few. It's 5 minutes from my house. It would have been a 2-for-1 because I could have approached John Larson about the Newington arrest and asked him about, now that we know the felony. But more importantly, just last week, they increased police presence in the schools because of the Minneapolis shooting.
Right.
I would have been able to ask Chris Murphy what he thought about the increased police presence. What's he going to say?
Yeah, you know what was interesting? I'll tell you something. For the people who say that I don't criticize Donald Trump, I was so upset. I don't know if you watched the press conference the other day. This is the one where, he was being asked by Peter Ducey of whether or not he was dead. I think it was yesterday. He was asked in there talking about arming schools with police officers or veterans. And he whiffed on it. I was so disappointed in Trump in that, because what an opportunity to have a national discussion about because he said something about building walls outside of the school, like construction of some sort. And then he backed off from it because once you get them in, then, of course, they can keep people from getting in once they get behind those walls. But he was asked a direct question about police at schools, which, again, or having some sort of deterrent in the form of veterans or someone who can handle a gun to keep those maniacs out of the schools. And he whiffed on it. And I was so ticked off that no one else, because there was only one person who asked, and no one expanded on that conversation days after these two children are shot and killed. And it's like, so disappointing.
Missed opportunity. You wish he,
it
you
was.
Wish he had an earbud, and I wish that you had access to it.
So do I.
In his ear.
I hope. Look, I really do. I not that I expect it to, because the news cycle, it runs rampant. I doubt that it's ever going to come up again. But if it does, I hope somebody reminds him or brings it up again about armed schools.
Yes, I do too. There's so many layers to that too. Like I would like to ask Chris Murphy, like if he's and I've mentioned this before, but really nobody ever talks about it. Is it seems like they have a problem with SROs in elementary and high school.
Yeah.
But then when our kids go on to state university and colleges, like UConn Police Department, that's a massive organization.
Yeah.
They're in Hartford, they're in Stores, they're in the other satellite places.
And let's not go into New Haven. The New Haven Police Department covers Yale.
Yeah. So do they have a problem with UConn police being on campus protecting? Now look, we might have a college shooting happening right now as I'm talking to you. So do you have somebody needs to ask Chris Murphy, well, why is that? Why would you want to protect youngsters? But then when they're adults in college, now a police force is okay for them. The hypocrisy is just unbelievable. And I got to leave you with this, only because last night, I think, CNN, I love watching them. Just because it is fun. They had a cath lab director on to talk about the makeup on Donald Trump's wrist.
Are you serious?
And they're like, oh, it was comical because here he is, a doctor. You'd think they'd have a dermatologist.
Right.
But it was a cath lab, a heart cardiac specialist. And he goes like this. He goes, now look at, so from a president who wants transparency, I guess you're not too transparent when you're applying makeup to your wrist. And I'm going, who's watching this? It's a cardiologist who's talking about the makeup on his
but you have to understand, Mark, the reason why they have a cardiologist, right, is because CNN thinks that their audience is deep, right? So you have a cardiologist, right, to at least suggest we brought in a cardiologist to look at the markings on his hand, which then makes you go, well, is the hand related to the heart in some way? Like, they really are the dumbest news organization on the planet.
And the people who watch it are just that stupid.
Yeah.
Hey, thanks again, brother.
You got it, man, as always.
Hey, Matt Lesser, we're waiting for you to call in.
That's never happening. He bit off more than he could chew. I don't expect that. Guards, Giancarlo, yes, I do know that, but as I don't know if you heard the interview with Stephen Orozco, that a lot of the New Haven Police Department are also patrolling. Yeah, I mean, there's so much Yale in New Haven. I mean, how can they not? They have their own PD as well as, New Haven cops that are there. That's why one of the, big problems that Stephen Orozco has while he's running for mayor of New Haven is the fact that Yale is eating up all the resources in New Haven and paying for none of it, while the rest of the city lives in and sits in squalor. So, yeah, it's amazing just to witness this stuff. So, Matt, I hope I'm going to send another message to your communications people that say, hey, what's up? We don't have a spot. I mean, we have a spot, I should say. We have an open spot tomorrow, unless, of course, we get this McKinney guy. And I will admit, if I have to choose between Matt Lesser and Frank McKinney over here, I've got to go with McKinney. I'm sorry, we'll just have to schedule another time. This McKinney thing, it's Thursday. I love having a little bit of fun. This guy's, it's another cat toy moment. I can't wait. I hope he comes on. Do you think he will? Oh, cross your fingers. I'll let you know online. So, hey, by the way, if you're not following me online, you got to do it. You got to go to reeseontheradio.com, REESE on the radio.com. You can follow me on Facebook, as well as X or Twitter, if you're still calling it that. I want to thank all of you. Gosh, thank you so much for reposting my video yesterday evening about John Larson and his office being upset that they were recorded when they were asked questions about Newington. How irate were they when they found out that they were being recorded? Nobody played any audio of them. We didn't even embarrass you. Okay? We didn't embarrass you. We could have. We could have embarrassed you. But we didn't play the audio. The only reason why you were recorded was so that I could hear you embarrass yourselves. And I heard you embarrass yourselves. Okay? So don't be mad. Don't scream and holler. Are you recording us now? Yes. everyone who calls your office from now on will be recording you. And if you get indignant, if you disrespect your constituents, the people that you serve, they will have it on the record. Perhaps knowing that you're being recorded will influence you to show them some damn respect. Perhaps. Now you'll know. You'll be on guard. Who's recording me? You know? It's like calling up a company. And when you hear the recording, thank you for calling. This phone call may be recorded for quality assurance. That's the mantra you should be working. You should be working that. Huh? So now, when we call you, this phone call will be recorded for quality assurance. The quality we deserve. As I always say, radio is free, so we thank you for paying attention. Remember to keep JC in your hearts and in your mind. Sean Patrick, we love you and we miss you. Remember that panic is not planning, so plan your work and work your plan. Me, I'm Reese on the Radio. You, have a good night, pleasant tomorrow, and we'll see you back here at 2 p.m. Let's get John Larson with weather and Mark Christopher. He's in the BPS traffic.
Bob Larson.
Well, I said Bob. What did I say? John? Bob Larson.
John, is it
Bob Larson.
Bob
I did
Larson's-
it again. I did it
Yes, you
again.
did. We're good now. We got it all straightened out now. Reese, thank you very much. Have a great night. If you're heading into Hartford, South London, winds a little slow. Right lane at 32.
You called John Bob before, and then you call Bob John.
Slows approaching the
It's
40,
figures.
5
I do it all the
Park
time.
Eastbound 84 losing a little
Anyway,
speed, 46
I will
up to
see you
48 Capitol
mañana.
Avenue.
All right.
All right,
See you.
boss
I
man.
already chopped all that shit up, and so we
okay.
good for Sunday.
There you go.
There.
Thank you,
Heading
boss.
toward Middle.
Yes, sir.
All right.
9 in the Irrigotti Bridge, 84 westbound. A little slow as you move from.
All right, everybody. Thank you, Lori. And thank you, Michael A. I appreciate you. And it looks like we got some more details coming up on that situation. I'll be looking into that, and we'll have details about it tomorrow. Sorry, it's the end of the show. I love you guys. Be good to each other. Stay well.